Well, hello and welcome to Skyter Livestream on the 19th of June in 2022. We are going to have a good night tonight. It's exquisitely clear at the observatory. And you may notice from the front page here that there's an addition to our page. You can see it says skytourlive.com. Yes, we now have a full-blown web presence, which is actually a lot more than we had before. So hey, there it is right over my head. So skytourlive.com is a clearinghouse, a location where you can go to not only get to our database, you can get to the images, and it's only going to get better from here, guys. So I want to welcome you, and I want to welcome Daryl Mason, who is here waiting in the wings. Hey, Daryl, how are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm good. You? Hello, everybody.
Doing good, thank you. Doing good.
Good.
And we're just waiting for it to get dark. As you can see above the Skytour Live flag there, it's still not quite dark. But you know what? I'd rather have the observatory open and getting the telescope down to temperature than to actually open it only when we're ready. You know, I'm happy to start and talk with you a little while and tell you a little bit about what we're doing. So, like I said, one of the latest edition, obviously, is the website. And, you know, not everybody has Facebook. Not everybody has the social media that we tend to stick our lives into. So this gives us an opportunity, and them, to actually go and see a regular old website. So skytourlive.com will be a place where we will be doing a lot more. We will probably be doing a blog up there. Thank you, Izabela. Izabela says, wow, website looking good. Yeah, thank you. Believe it or not, I didn't have it this morning, and by late afternoon it was all set. So I used to be a web developer, actually, in a previous life, so that has probably been very helpful to why I was able to just pound that right out and get it going. Plus there was some stuff that was put in place to help me do that, which is nice. So in any case, welcome, guys, to Skytour Livestream. Some of you have been here waiting for a while. Vera Lucia Campos has been here for a while, and she actually left me a message hours ago to say, oh, we can't wait for tonight. I'm glad it's going to happen. Daisy and Zoe are here, and C&D Boy is here, sitting in the wings somewhere. And Anahata 77, Bonnie is here. Thank you, Bonnie, for coming. Good to see you. Cindy Murphy. And it's early, you know. Izabela is with us, of course. And Donald Kunzer is here with us. That's nice to see you, Donald. And Fantasy is here. How's it going?
I don't see C&D or Daisy and Zoe.
Oh, yeah, they're up top. They're up top. C&D Boy left 1, 2, 3, 4, about 9 or 10 messages already.
I don't see them up there either.
Okay, well, they're there because I see them.
Okay.
I'm not sure how it works. I'm not sure how it works when you go in. That's, I guess, a technicality. Luckily, maybe you only saw it from the time that it started streaming from your end. I'm not sure. But I think it's cool. And Fantasy actually says, Mark, thanks for the UHCS recommendation. I ordered mine. Just trying to find a new T-ring for the camera. What he's trying to do is to adapt his camera to be able to take beautiful night sky shots, sort of like what we do. And what you do is you use a special filter. The filter blocks light. And you say, well, wait a minute. If the filter's blocking light, how can we possibly see anything? Especially if it's light polluted. The light's already faint enough. Yes, that's true. And it may appear that way, but the filter actually only lets in the good light, kind of like the good witch and the bad witch. It only lets in the good light, and that good light is exactly the thing that the filter passes through, and it rejects things like lights from the city and things like that. And so, whereas you might think that putting something that looks like it's blocking your camera, a piece of glass that has this dark color to it, you can't even see through many times, and it looks like a mirror, you might say, well, that's not going to help me, but in fact, it does. Because light works in mysterious ways, and the light that you want will get through that filter like it's not even there. And the light you want is the light of the faint objects like galaxies and nebulae, and that's the kind of thing that we want desperately to see, right? So that filter that I recommended to Fantasy was called a UHCS, ultra high contrast, and then the S, and it's a bunch of narrow bands together. Now, usually in astronomy, we take shots with just filters that are each of these narrow bands separately, and then we combine them later. But if you're doing SkyTour live stream or something where you want to show people things all the time, fast and rapidly, bang, bang, let's get these galaxies and show them and check them out. And we'll do the supernova again tonight. Well, to do that, you actually need a filter that is going to allow you to see effectively the final result of combining all those filters together. It's not as I should say, what's the right word now? I gotta pick the right word. They're beautiful, no doubt, but it's not the same as taking 3 separate shots. In 3 separate shots, you can control how much of the red nebula you want to get in there versus how much of the blue ionized oxygen you want. So that's if you're doing 3 separate, but if you're doing them all at once, you have no choice. They all come in at once. Okay, and this guy we're looking at right here, this is Spica again, our go-to star. If we bring up this planetarium, you can see Spica is in Virgo. If we back out, you can see Virgo, the Virgin, okay, is lying down on her side now, because she's past the meridian now. Here's south, and our lines here going up and down are actually, they're straight up and down directly south, right? And then they tend to lean over as we head toward the west, and that's kind of where we're looking now. I see our telescope has gone infrared now. The telescope camera, surveillance camera is going infrared. Oh, by the way, another thing I'm installing when I go out there is a pan and tilt system that goes inside the building. So we're going to hopefully have access to a pan and tilt camera that will look around and zoom and be able to do all that. And that'll be courtesy of Starlink, hopefully. And Marianne is here, I guess, huh?
She is.
Uh-oh. What'd I do?
Marianne.
Hey, Marianne, how are you? And we also have the Desert Dweller. What's going on? From Mojave Country, or Mojave County, actually. It's good to see you. Yep. That's really cool. Yeah. It's actually very hot out there. I was talking to Marianne earlier, and it was 90 in the late afternoon, I think, and that was down from like 100.
I looked at your
Thank you,
temperature
Desert Dweller.
earlier today, and it looked like it was relatively cool out there.
At the telescope.
Only 90, I think.
Yeah, at the telescope, it was pretty cool. Just by luck of the draw, to be honest. No, dry heat is great, Desert Dweller. He says dry heat ain't so bad. No, it's not. Except when you do something stupid like I did, and Marianne, of course, will certainly say that. I was actually really anxious to get the telescope up and running because I wanted to bring this to you like crazy. And what did I do? I overworked myself and underdrank water and ended up in the hospital with a major case of heat exhaustion. And of course, Marianne was the one that noticed it. Being a cop, she recognized that I was doing weird things and not taking care of myself. And next thing you know, at 11:30 at night, she's driving me to a hospital. What can I say? You know, I felt that I was so good at this stuff, being an Arizona guy. And I've always loved the heat, but that doesn't mean the heat will not still take its toll on you, and it did. Yep. Hey, Bruce Dusky, how are you? Oh, no worries, man. Hey, Bruce, we're going to be looking at a number of galaxies tonight. The moon doesn't rise till much later, and so we're actually going to see if we can actually... what I want to do, another thing I want to do, guys, is I would love to see, because we have Scorpius rising, I would love to see a special nebula that I really love, and that's the Rho Ophiuchi complex. We took a beautiful picture of it last year, But that was before we actually got our autofocus system installed, so that the photo wasn't actually focused, and it was before the telescope was collimated as it is now. So I imagine that what we're going to end up with is a stunning photo tonight. What do you think, Daryl?
I give it a while, and you may get your chance if we're up late enough.
I will try to be.
Stars of summer are rising now.
Yeah.
The summer triangle is well up. 9:30 at night here now.
Yeah.
Which would be 8:30 out there.
Now the summer triangle that Daryl's talking about, of course, is this star here in Aquila the Eagle, and the star Vega, which is over here, and the star Deneb, which is over here in Cygnus. So these three stars make the summer triangle, and that's how you know the summer's up and over your head. And man, I must tell you, it's just a wonderful time. You know,
star in Aquila is called Altair. It's the eye of the eagle.
Actually, we can show that. Let's go and bring it in. It's on the east horizon right now. But if we actually show you what that looks like, okay. First of all, keep in mind that these are just suggestive drawings. They don't actually adhere to the mythos that we expect. So the eye of the eagle is looking like it's here, but it really should be here.
This is true.
Looks like the heart of the eagle in this particular thing, and that's probably what they thought. And here's Amanda Curran's favorite constellation, Vulpecula. Go ahead, Daryl.
Little star next to Altair is Terazed, which is one of my favorites. That's the top of the eagle's head.
Yep. Now, Terazed is a beautiful star. And you know, sometimes looking at these orange stars, this is a K8, I believe, K8 or so, maybe a K3. It's actually a giant star. And stars that are giants look like they're really, really bright sometimes because they have all that size, and that size corresponds to an equal increase in their luminosity or brightness that we see. And so when we go to look at stars like that, you might find, for instance, that the stars that are really, really bright are actually extremely far away in some cases. But it's just that they're so massive, they look big.
If you look just
Universe
to the left
is in 3D.
If you look just to the left of Aquila, you'll see Delphinus the dolphin, which will be a little more prominent later in the summer.
That's right. Yep.
I remember seeing that when I was a kid. I was just really taken by it. I thought it looked like a diamond bracelet up in the sky.
It did, actually, and when you could see it. I mean, now it's hard to see unless you're in an area that's really not light polluted. And, you know, Delphinus, I used to call it Delphinus or Delphinus, but Delphinus is actually this beautiful little constellation. I know a lot of people that's just a favorite of theirs, you know. Just a favorite, and that's just because of the stars and not the fact that there's anything major in Delphinus, because there isn't. There's like a globular cluster here, and it's like, you know, C47. It's actually a relatively minor globular cluster. It's not even a spectacular one. So, but then you have Sagitta, okay, or Sagitta, depending on where you were brought up, and Sagitta actually is a really interesting constellation because it is the arrow, okay, and there's the arrow, but right above it in Vulpecula, the fox, we're going to be looking at, when it comes up higher, the Dumbbell Nebula, which is just a beautiful remnant of a dead star. Not a supernova, but a planetary nebula, where the star had just expanded and blown off its outer shell of material over and over and over until it left this series of shells around it. But it did it in an odd way, which is what happens with some of these stars. They create these lobes above and below the star or to the side of the star, and those lobes lead to a particular type of planetary nebula that we call a bipolar nebula. No, it doesn't mean that it's sometimes happy and sad. It means bipolar, meaning that it has two lobes on it. which kind of relates to the medical diagnosis of bipolar syndrome too, because people have these two extremes, and so it's really interesting where words come from, number one, but where we get them for astronomy. And I want to know, Daryl, if NGC 6830, which is called the Poodle Cluster, poodle like the dog, I mean, is that really what it's called? Or is it just Melat 224?
That sounds like another one of those fanciful stellarium names to me.
Yeah, right? Yeah, stellarium has some wacky names.
A little early yet.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a ways to go here. I'm going to increase the gain slowly here. And, all right, we're at 300 now. I'll increase the exposure. Let's go to, say, 35 milliseconds. Let's see how close we can get. Okay, that's good. It's supporting it. Now what I want to do is just level this out. Well, that's good. So it's getting darker. Again, our camera inside the building that you see up there showing you the interior with the roof off, that shows you the bright sky here. That's the sunset. And when that is gone to the eye, we'll still see it with this particular camera. So it's not fully gone. I try to get everything, as best I can. I try to get everything as dark as possible before we take a serious picture. By the way, if you go to Sky Tour Live, what you can do is you can scroll down and you'll see directions on how to access the database and a link to access the database to look at all the photos you like. So that's another thing. So this way it makes it so much easier, and it prevents people like Daryl and Izabela from having to constantly put the link for this. If you like doing that, that's fine, but I don't. I think this is going to alleviate you from doing that. We'll just say go to Sky Tour Live, go down and click on the database link, go to today's date, and then when you go in there you have the time and go and grab it, so you can see all the cool stuff. All right, so we're zoomed way in here, and I'm going to zoom out. All right, and let me go to our hypered shot here. I'm intentionally a little bit out of focus yet, so we will fix that. I'm drinking my home brewed Thai iced tea. Not chai, but Thai, Thai. It's that orangey tea that you get in the Thai restaurants, and I buy it in bulk and I make it because it's the most amazing drink. But nobody I know likes it. I love it. There's more for me, Mr. Spock. Oh, there goes a satellite right through our view. Did you see that? Okay. Let's try. I think 1 second's not. We're not ready for 1 second yet, but I'll try it. Okay, let's go and do this now. Oh, that's 4 milliseconds. That's not what I wanted. Sorry. I picked the wrong one. There we go. Alright, well, that's a little bright. Let's kill this for there. Okay, now here, you can see all the stars we have in the view here. And I'll see if we've got enough stars to do a focus setup here for us. If you notice down here on the bottom of the screen here, right here, our sensor is minus 8.9 Celsius. We run it at 10 below zero to eliminate as much noise as we can. And right now at 10 below 0 Celsius, that's a pretty good setting. Pretty good chill, I should say. Okay, we're gonna move our We're going to move our focus out another notch. And then we're going to scan inward to try and build our focal curve. Alright, so we're going to let this run through the process. The algorithm is going to take samples from the existing stars in the view, and it's going to figure out where the best position of focus is. And when it's done, this will light up over here. Okay, and we'll go to the best focus position. I've been talking to Robin, the guy that wrote this program, and he's been taking a few of my suggestions, which is great. I asked for this temperature to be included in the program, and he did that for us. I asked him to also work on getting this set up so that when it finds the best focus position, it just automatically goes to it, and I don't have to touch anything. But he hasn't done that yet, but I'm thinking he's working on it. Fantasy says, I'm looking out my window and it's still pretty bright outside. Yeah, it is. But not too bright that we can't get our curve. Look how nice and deep that curve is. That means this is a very, very good sample here. So when we say best focus position now, it's going to go all the way down that curve and back toward the middle again. So there it goes, back out of focus, and then right back to that central point. So our telescope is now beautifully focused. I predict, actually. I mean, I think it's beautifully focused. Hi, Papa Tom. Hi, Jessica S. Good to see you guys. Nice to see you. I gotta thank our new Sky Tour family members that have joined us lately. I've been finding that, you know, our views that we see on our streams have gone over 1,000 at times overnight, so that's pretty good. Vera, I'm no wizard. I'm just someone that is putting together technology in a way that makes it useful to all of us. So I guess I'm a facilitator, right? That's what it is, a facilitator. Okay. Alright, so there's Spica. And we have to wait for it to get a little darker. But you can see the glow of the horizon up here is dropping. It's getting lower. So it's good to see you guys. Hi there, Prow. How are you? Simon Thompson. Good morning from Perth. Hey. You and let's see. We've got James Dugan, and we have Greg Gilgan from Australia who join us from time to time. Maybe they'll join us tonight. And I'm glad you told us where you're from, Simon, because I always like to know where people are coming from. Oh, Marianne says, by the way, happy Father's Day to all the great fathers in chat. Well, that's very nice, Marianne. Thank you. You said, wasn't that the name of one of the horses in Ben-Hur? Where did somebody say that?
Sydney Murphy said that one of her horses was named Aquila.
Oh, Aquila.
Aquila, you know, the eagle, the constellation. And,
of course, yeah.
That just rang a bell with me. I was thinking the guy who owned the white horses that Charlton Heston drove at Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
They were named after stars or constellations, if I remember right.
Yeah, you're right.
Aquila sounded familiar.
You are right. I remember that. We've talked about this, actually. We have talked about this here.
I think I remember.
Yeah.
I'd have to look it up to be sure.
No, I know we did. You're right. You have spoken wisely.
I don't know about that. I just watch too much TV, I guess.
Okay. Simon Thompson says, just wondering how SharpCap focus works on planets. I gather it uses contrast. Well, okay. Simon, you're familiar, I'm guessing, with SharpCap, which is what we're using. If you go into the focus assistant here, you can see that you have contrast, edge detection, histogram range, Fourier detail detection, and then now if you want to use looking at stars, okay, those three up there are the ones for planets, okay? Contrast, edge detection, histogram. Not for stars. If you're using stars, you got to do multi-full with half maximum, or Bahtinov mask, which I actually laser cut Bahtinov masks here, but I don't use them because there's so much easier ways to actually focus a telescope without swinging a mask in remotely. You know, we can do it, but we don't. So the best one is the multi-star full width half maximum. Go ahead, Daryl. I'm sorry.
No, I was just going to say a Bahtinov mask could be a little difficult with that camera on the front, would it?
Yeah, it'd be impossible for how we're doing it.
Yep.
If you go to skytourlive.com and go through the image gallery, you'll see a photo of the telescope in the observatory. It doesn't have the dew cap on. You can actually the dew shield. You can actually see the camera and the forward lens assembly behind it. That brings it from an f8 down to an f2 photographically, which is very fast. So you can see that if you want. If you go through, what'd you say wow about? What'd I miss?
Oh, Cindy was talking about her horse.
Oh.
Said he was the son of Secretariat.
Oh, see, wow, that's pretty cool.
Her grandson.
Wow.
And Donald corrected me. The horse's name was Altair, not Aquila. In Ben-Hur.
Okay.
Aldebaran, Altair, Rigel, and Antares.
Wow.
He's absolutely right.
Okay, then we should have Marianne tase you.
Well, I promise I'll be good, Marianne.
Unfortunately, Marianne, I have to fall down on the side of Daryl on this one anyway. He's been quite good with everything that we do here, so I can't ever complain about him. Alright, let's see if we can go check out something that I'd like to look at just as a little test. Shall we go look at this? Yes, we shall. I think it's bright enough or dark enough that I can do this. We're gonna go check out Messier 13 in Hercules. It's the Great Cluster, the Great Globular Cluster, and we have seen this before, and we're going to go again. Now what we're doing is we're going to a waypoint star, and that's going to be centered up, and after it's centered up, we're then going to move to the cluster, and the star we're going to is up here. It's one of the stars in the constellation Hercules. I forget which one. Is it Eta Hercules? I'm not sure. Maybe. Anyway, it's only just a little bit away from here. So once that's centered, it's then going to move zip, and go down to, there it is. It's coming in doing the centering. So I'll put that there. I'll put my cursor there to see how close the cluster is. Wow, not bad. There's the cluster. Look at that.
Marianne, I've never even been arrested. When I was in the Cub Scouts, we got a tour of the county jail, the old jail, and I think that scared me straight.
Well, that implies that you were not straight to begin with. So.
Well, I mean, hey, I was a Cub Scout. How crooked could I be?
Well, you could have cheated the Pinewood Derby.
I never did the Pinewood Derby.
Oh, no?
Nope.
All right. Fair enough. Okay. let's center you up, Mr. Mesher 13, and let's see if we can get a good view. I imagine we can. I mean, I'm only at a second here, and we're at 300. If I was to bring this up high, watch your eyes might be bright. Oh, it's not bad. Okay, so we'll go down here. Let's come off that hyper view. It's like a night vision shot, and we'll come up here like this. There we go. Beautiful stars. You can see all the way into the middle of the cluster. And let's see if we can zoom and grab the propeller that I see it from here. See it?
Yep. Why?
This is the propeller right here. Up, down, and up top. 1, 2, 3 bladed propeller. See it? It's not a real artifact. It's just a... I'm sorry. It is just an artifact. It's not a real object. Okay. Hey, Louis Ta. How you doing? Good to see you. And look who's here. Heidi Gad. Nice to see you, Heidi. Heidi's an incredible musician, by the way. Heidi, if you can, put in a link to your work so people can see what you do. I'd love to have you do that. Okay, and... Hey, Ricardo. Thank you.
Excuse me.
No, but Heidi, do put in the link to your page or what have you. Feel free. I think you're a mod, so you can do it. You can make a link. Go right ahead and do it. And look, Marianne's right below you there, Heidi. Marianne, Rob, and Heidi Gad are from the same area in Phoenix. Relatively. Okay, that's not bad. This is looking pretty good, Daryl.
It looks like it's out of focus again.
I don't know. Let's. I am at 140%.
Oh, okay.
If I go down to 100, okay. So here at 100%.
Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I think we're pretty clear. But you know what I'll do? Here's what I'll do. I will live stack 1 second exposures here, okay? Just so we can see. Alright. Let's drag this down. That doesn't look bad. Look, we can see these two stars right there. Very nice. And let me color correct. Get those curves all aligned with each other. There we go. Look at that. Wow. That's really pretty, huh?
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, when we go up higher than this, guys, and we're at 100%, this is the full aperture, I should say. This is the native size of our sensor. If we go to auto, then we're actually, doing a fitting of the image into a confined space. So it's sort of an artificial view of what we're looking at. This is more a reality here. So we have a lot this way, a lot this way, a lot this way, and a lot that way. But that's the native size. So this is beautiful. But we can go to 800%, and if we go like to 800%, you say, "Oh, that's all out of focus." At least it looks that way, but it's not. It's actually in focus, and this is how the sensor reacts to each individual starlight. It's like a little pinprick of starlight in each of these locations on the sensor. But 100% is the typical view. That's the native size of our sensor. That's really pretty. Now we've done 70 of these already since we're sitting here, because we just did, basically it's a 1 second exposure. So in just over a minute we did 70 exposures, right? So not bad. So what I'll do is we'll save it because it looks nice. And it's not even completely dark yet.
Simon has a question of you when you have a moment.
Okay. 1 second, Simon. I'll be right there. I'm only doing about 5 things at once, so, you know, I'll get to you. All right. Okay, Heidi. Heidi just put out, here's a song that just released yesterday, Electric Violin, which is what she is so really good at. You got to hear this girl play. You really do. She's phenomenal. Electric Violin, and there's her YouTube link. Go check that out. All right, guys? Check it out. Simon's asking, what scope camera are you using? I can't make it out. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I can imagine. Okay, that's an LX600 10-inch telescope. It's an f2 telescope running at... It's an f8 telescope running at f2. Okay? We don't even use what's in the back. The light doesn't come out the back like a typical Schmidt-Cassegrain. It goes down to the mirror and out the front through a lens system. It's running 25 times faster than normal. The camera we're using is the ZWO ASI 294MC Pro. And that, I felt, was one of the best cameras available to us. And it really is one of the best cameras. Our images show very little noise. And there's so much latitude with this camera. It's absolutely astonishing. All right, we're going to pause this here because we've only got 140 stacked images. And we'll save this. And this will be out up on the server. Again, it's a free server available to all of you. And we'll say, okay, we're done with Measure 13 now. And we'll go back to we're leaving it at 1 second, so we're good. So there's 1 second. And we can zoom out now. There we go. All right. Outstanding. This is really just a beautiful view. Hope you guys like the music. It's I mentioned before, it's a new set of music that we implemented here to, specifically targeted towards sky gazing and star viewing and nebula looking and galaxy hunting. So it's really pretty. All right. Daisy and Zoe say, hello, Heidi. We'll have to check it out. Absolutely love the violin. See that, Heidi? You got all kinds of people here. And Daisy and Zoe are wonderful. Jessica S. says, violin is awesome. Very hard to play. Just ask my old teacher. Very cool. All right. And Izabela says, at Heidi Gad, music sounds great. Listen to just a little, but we'll definitely check it out after the stream. Wow. Wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah, all right. So let's go back in here. Oh, we had a satellite zip through the corner up there. All right. And let's go back over to our... actually, we're going to go check out the supernova. You may have remembered that we had checked out NGC 4647, and that was a supernova that had occurred in a galaxy right near another galaxy called Measure 60, and it was very, very bright. And supernovae tend to be very, very bright, and they're really hot and blue when they first explode. And the supernova is, of course, a star that has collapsed. The core collapses because all of that gravitational energy is crushing the star when the star runs out of nuclear fuel. Okay, so when it runs out of that fuel, it just collapses, and that all happens in about 1/4 of a second. That's how fast they collapse. And so they rebound off that inert core and shoot stuff out at really, really high speeds. Meanwhile, the rest of the star is still collapsing, so it just rips the star to pieces and shoves the interstellar medium full of star guts, basically. That's pretty impressive. So here's NGC 4647, and we're going to check out the supernova that occurred there. So here we go, and we're going to tell the telescope to head over there. And if you watch the underneath the words high precision slewing, it's going to show you where we're going. And let's here we go. All right. Daryl, you still with us? Uh-oh.
Whoops. Yeah, I just
Oh,
I had
okay.
muted. Sorry.
Forgot?
Yep.
Okay, no, that's okay. I just wanted to make sure you were still with us because I was about to go to the chat and say, okay, is Daryl leaving me a message saying, I lost you? Hey there, Alice. How are you? Alice asks if there's anything good in Pisces.
Yeah, Pisces isn't up yet.
Yeah. But the question is still a good one. Is there anything good in Pisces? And I don't remember anything good in Pisces, to be honest. Let me guess, Alice, you're a Pisces. Heidi, you're more than welcome. You do so much for everybody. Okay. I believe that we are where we need to be. We'll just check that real quick. Well, it looks like we might be in the region. The red box here is the box that defines the size of our field. It's 4 full moons across and 3 full moons tall. This is a wide field telescope. All right, so that said, let's actually take some time exposures and see what we get. We're going to do we'll do 15-second exposure. Okay, and then we'll get rid of our high-end image enhanced view to try and show things. We're going to clear this now, clear the stack, and we'll start stacking again. And when we get our first image, and there we go. Now we will check it out and do a color correction. Zoom in. The first ones are pretty grainy, but you'll notice that as the next ones come in, they get less and less grainy because the data doesn't change. That light adds, but the noise is random, and so that noise just keeps changing, so it ends up getting averaged out over time. Heidi Gadd's asking a question about planetary alignment, Daryl. Is that one you want to handle? She says...
Yeah, I see.
Okay.
Heidi, it happens occasionally. The last time was in the early 2000s. I forget exactly when. It really doesn't mean anything. It's all the bright planets, the classic planets that the ancients knew. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn. They're all lined up and in order in the morning sky. An astrologer back in the day might have made something of it. It really doesn't mean anything. If you actually looked at a diagram of the solar system as to where the planets are actually sitting, they're sort of all over the place. They just happen to line up from our point of view on Earth. And actually, you can't see them, but Neptune and Uranus are right up there and lined up too. If I remember right, Neptune is between Saturn and Jupiter, and Uranus is between Mars and Venus. I have looked at it a few times. Yes, Don, I'll get to that in a second. No, I forgot my train of thought now. The alignment, I've looked at it a few times, and unfortunately I can't see Mercury. It's very low to the horizon and hard to see in pretty bright dawn light. But Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn are easy to see. Now, I've seen Mercury many times in the past, naked eye, and through the telescope. And Donald, yes, the moon is visiting or will visit each of the planets in turn. I would have to look it up when the moon was going to be by Saturn first, and then as the moon moves closer to Nu, it's gonna it's gonna be by Jupiter a couple of days later, then Mars the day after Jupiter, then Venus a couple of days after that, and it'll be by Mercury, but it'll be so old by then you may have a hard time seeing it.
Okay.
Thank you,
Hi,
Fantasy.
Neutron.
Neutron, neutrino.
I mean, neutrino, yeah. Sorry. Thank you, Daryl. Yes, I gypped you of some energy by calling you neutron. Neutrinos are very high energy and they pass right through the planet. Neutrons actually, well, you know, they can cause problems. So here's this is our supernova right here. This is Galaxy Measure 60. It's an elliptical galaxy. This is Galaxy NGC 4647, and out in its outer banks, out here in one of the spiral arms, you can see this dot. That dot is not a star. Now, normally, when we look at galaxies, we're seeing them through the stars in our galaxy, and they're way out here, okay, way in the back. Okay, well, you know, millions and millions of light years beyond in general. But that's not what we're seeing here. In fact, we're actually watching and seeing a supernova underway in this galaxy. All right, and let me just get that a little bit back to what I just had here, just to kind of show you. There we go. So here's the galaxy, and this right here is the supernova. When we started looking at this supernova several weeks ago, this was a blue dot. It wasn't a red dot. So we're literally watching something millions of light years away change within just a few short weeks. Supernovae tend to last at this brightness, you know, anywhere between, you know, 2 to 3 weeks, all the way to 6 to 8 months. It depends what's going on inside this particular galaxy and the overall logistics of moving all this mass of this former star out away from it. And there's several different types of supernova. Okay, there's what's called the core collapse supernova, which is the one I talked about before, where the core runs out of fuel and the star just collapses and blows up. And then there's another type of star, another type of supernova that occurs when you have two stars orbiting each other, and that's what we have here. Okay, there's a white dwarf, a star that used to be a star that expanded into a red giant and then slowly contracted down to about the size of the Earth, and it's orbiting another normal star. But that normal star eventually made its way to a red giant stage. And when that happened, that red giant was leaking gases onto the surface of the white dwarf, because they're closely orbiting binary probably. And when that happened, the white dwarf can only be a certain mass. If it goes beyond that mass, which is called the Chandrasekhar mass, which is 1.44 solar masses, then the gas is in danger on the surface of that white dwarf of spontaneously going into runaway fusion on the surface and causing the star to actually blow up in the process. And that's what we see here. That's exactly what happened here. It's the most amazing thing. Now, the neat thing about these is that they all happen kind of the same way. So when we see one of these happen in a galaxy far, far away, okay, well, knowing how bright they are, we can actually tell how far away they are. They're called standard candles. And there is a distance ladder called the cosmological distance ladder that you know helps us figure out the distances from nearby things to much further things, and then further beyond that as well. And so a distance candle of the type 1A supernova that this is what we use to figure out how far away it is.
You think it's dimmer?
I do.
Still looks redder.
Yep. This was very bright before, guys. Very bright blue. And now it's getting dimmer, and we're actually watching it. I like watching it change. We're gonna have a historical record of it here. NGC 4647, and then I put after that SN for supernova. Okay, there we go. Yeah. So we don't need that now.
Izabela, their planetary nebulas don't come from supernovas. The star may have been destroyed completely. Planetary nebulas come from old, roughly solar mass stars that get old and kind of puff off their outer atmospheres, which forms planetary nebulas. Supernova's too violent. There may well be a nebula there in the future. We probably won't be able to see it well. It's so far away. But it won't be a planet. It will not be a planetary nebula.
Yeah. Planetary nebulas are a very interesting nebulae, but they're not. They're actually not very easy to gauge distance to, for a bunch of reasons. But these types of supernovae here that we're seeing, these guys are this particular kind. This is a Type 1A supernova. These we can tell the distance. So when they were at their brightest, we got an extremely accurate distance measurement to this galaxy in which this occurred. Yep. And Alice says, do you think humans will reach the safety of another planet before the Earth is toast? Yeah, I suspect that if we don't, that'll be the end of the human race. It's really hard to imagine something that could end the entire planet. You say, I'll just hide. I'll go hide in my basement or whatever. But you have to understand, and you do, I think, that here we're talking about an incredible event that could literally incinerate the entire planet. You know? And a planetary nebula is a more quiet way for stars to die. A supernova is violent, and that would just extremely quickly blow off the atmosphere off the planet and boil the oceans away within just a few minutes. And then once that happens, well, obviously the toast is finished. But planetary nebulae, on the other hand, the star swells, and before the star actually gets to the point where it may or may not swallow up the Earth, it's actually going to start boiling off the atmosphere and boiling the oceans. So it'll be kind of a slower death. It'd be scary to actually have to go through that, but it's a slow motion thing. It takes place over many tens of thousands of years. So we'd have warning. And we might even have enough time to generate the technology to get off the planet from the time we actually first noticed that the star was running out of its hydrogen fuel and starting to go into that red giant phase. Because a number of things happened during that phase. But it would definitely be a very, very quick turnaround historically, or in terms of the universe. Blink of an eye.
It's so far in the future, I don't think we need to worry about it. We probably won't exist by then anyway. You're talking
or we'll be off
years?
the planet. Yeah, we're going to be like around 5 billion years from now, 4 billion years. But who's counting? But Alice's question is a poignant one. That's like, will we actually survive? Will we get off? And I think we will, probably long before that time. There's no reason to expect that the human race will die off just because it's going to die off. But you have to understand too that a planet is like a room. So let's say you seal that room. Okay? If you seal that room up and you keep putting people in it, there's going to come a point where there won't be enough oxygen for all the people in that room. There won't be enough food. There won't be enough heating and cooling. And the Earth is that room. Right? Now, it does have access to the quote-unquote outside because it can radiate radiation off the planet and absorb radiation from the sun. But there might come a point where the the Earth can no longer support the number of people on the planet, and when that finally gets to that point, we'll start to notice marked decreases in the oxygen balance. Oxygen will start to decrease in availability over time, and not to alarm anyone, but we've actually already noticed that at minuscule levels, oxygen production on the planet staying roughly the same. We found that the oxygen levels have been dropping a little bit. Not much, but a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a percent. And even that's too much. So I just think that it's it's an interesting thought, but it really points out that we have a lot of work to do in order to get back and safe.
If you'd like to read a good science fiction series about the far future of humanity, author's name is Gene Wolfe, Genewolfe, and it's a series of books called The Earth of the New Sun, and he spells Earth U-R-T-H.
Okay.
It's a whole cycle of books. There's a lot to it.
Wow.
Great books, pretty dense. Gene Wolfe is an old master of science fiction. He passed away a year or two ago. Wrote a lot of really neat stuff.
That's too bad that he passed away.
He was
wow
old, full of years. He was like 90 years old, I think.
Yeah. Neutrino says, I hope that reincarnation is real because I want to see the future of the universe and the human race. I think that's pretty cool. Simon says, problem is we're going to have the technology to get a lot further than Mars, which Elon wants to do too. If there's a catastrophic event that kills off the Earth, then Mars will have no chance. Okay, fair point. But Simon, I maybe you know, maybe don't. I do a lot of talks all over the world, and I actually, my current, I do like 16 or 18 different talks as an astronomer, but I also talk about extraterrestrial life, and one of the things I mentioned very much so is that there are some hints that physics could support extremely rapid travel in the universe, where you don't even have to even concern yourself with light speed. That's only a limitation in our 4 dimensions, our X, Y, and Z moving through time. And those other methodologies are actually what my talks are about. I'm going to be in Roswell in a week and a half, 2 weeks, not even, doing a talk on this, and then I'll be in Denver doing a talk on this a week later. I just did a talk in New York on this, so it's a really interesting physics. It has to do with string theory, in particular, a version of string theory called Randall-Sundrum 1. And that's where you have our Earth brain, X, Y, and Z moving through time, so our 4 dimensions, next to another area called the bulk, B-U-L-K, and that's next to another membrane called the Planck membrane. And the bulk is extremely warped, okay? So it warps really, really highly, moving away from our membrane to the Planck membrane. So much so that gravity is 10 to the 16 times more powerful than at our brain. So if you can generate particles that live in the bulk on your ship, then you could pull yourself into the bulk. And when you do that, distances are extremely shortened, as is time being slowed down. So you actually have the ability to literally pull out of the 4D world that we live in, 4D universe, and then see the entire universe before you at once, and then go in at any one point and punch in to new spaces, new places. And that's an extremely condensed version of what I talk about. And I didn't give you any of the background, but that's okay. I think it's enough to make you go, wow, really?
My brain hurts cool. Just thinking about it.
Yeah, you know what? I mean, if you think about it, here's the other thing. We think about things, these objects we call UFOs, right? And are UFOs really truly these objects that are here from another civilization? Maybe, okay. And if they're here, that's fantastic. But the only way they would get here is if they use a thing like this to do it. So I'm pretty confident that the reports over the centuries have been accurate, to some extent. So I think it's pretty cool. You gotta give it some credit. And there's a lot of physicists and astrophysicists that do pay attention to this, because Randall-Sundrum 1 is a valid string theory, a valid variant of the string theory.
That was a little brain joke,
It's because your brain hurts? But you spelled it B-R-A-N-E, right? Like membrane?
Well, that's the joke.
Okay.
I guess it's a pun.
That's a good one. No, it was a good one.
I think having to learn how to navigate and all that would be a pretty dangerous proposition.
It would, but you'd be the best cartographer in the universe if you could do it. And I think that an alien race would have to be the best cartographers.
I mean, if you hit the turn signal a half second too late, you probably overshot it.
Yeah. Well, actually, once you get into that bulk area, you got to keep coating your ship with these special particles called KK gravitons or Kaluza-Klein gravitons. Don't worry about that. To everybody else, and those Kaluza-Klein gravitons actually also make micro black holes. Okay, and actually the Large Hadron Collider at CERN is trying to generate these. So we're not talking about some science fiction stuff here. We're talking about testing their theory. And those black holes, if they exist, if you can make enough of them around your ship, guess what else they do? They would absorb the gravitational particles, if you believe in gravitons. We haven't seen them yet. They would absorb the gravitons that the Earth generates. And you know what that does? That doesn't allow gravity to get to your ship. So what would you do? You'd hover. So, but doing that also would cause your ship to look like it's shimmering, changing color, winking in and out. All the things that people report of UFOs. Now, as an astronomer, I also know that the color change can be atmospheric scintillation, of course. The winking in and out could be problems with your sensor. And the shimmering could be due to a low altitude view on a hot day. I mean, there's so many things that it could be, But we also can't discount that it could be this too. That's all I say. This is really beautiful. I think we're done with this one. It's got 80 stacked. So we'll pause this. I've got it set up there. Alright, we'll save it. So that saves our astronomical format in the green bar there, fits format. That's up on that'll be up there in a few minutes. And then we'll save this exactly as you see it here. So if you want this image, you can go right up. You go to skytourlive.com, go down and click on the link to go to the database, and then you scroll down and pick today's date and drill down. The instructions are there, and you can take this image down and enjoy it. You know what I'm going to do though, Daryl? You know what I haven't done? I am actually going to throw in the enhancements, which I haven't done yet. I'm going to add the unsharp mask. So watch how sharp it gets now, guys. So I add this unsharp mask, and now we actually see more detail in the galaxy because of this mask that I added. So we'll save it exactly as seen one more time. The FITS file doesn't change. The FITS file is raw data. Hey there, Dean Bustador. How are you? Mark D'Antonio is a Michigan coach, and not me. Which I think is kind of funny. But I was really hoping that the Michigan coach doesn't ever get himself into any legal hot water, because it would reflect on me. And of course, for him, I have to make sure I don't get in any legal hot water myself so that he doesn't have his reputation tarnished. Although I think he's a little bit more well known than I am, for sure.
Simon, did you see John Wick 2? The bad guy's name was Jesus. I forget his first. Yeah, Santino D'Antonio.
Yeah.
What was his first name? He's Mark's cousin.
I remember. Yeah, it was D'Antonio was his last name. I thought it was hilarious. We made it into the movies, guys. All right. Okay, we're gonna clear this now. This is now heading up to the server, so you'll have it. All right, so we'll clear this, and we're gonna get out of this stack. Go back to our image enhanced view, and gotta get rid of that for now. There we go.
Is Izabela still here? I don't think we posted a link to your server tonight. Give me a second.
Well, that's what I was saying. Okay, thank you. That's what I was saying. I was saying that if you go to skytourlive.com, a link to the server is now up there permanently, as is in the description for this.
Okay, well
that's fine.
Never mind.
Well, if people want direct links, and they can get them from you and Izabela. That's fine. Wow.
Well, okay, just this once.
No problem. Thank you for doing that, by the way.
Sure.
Well, as you guys have noticed, Daryl is just as committed to showing you cool stuff as I am, and I think that's cool. And Izabela is too. Izabela is responsible for doing all of our tables of contents for our streams, and I think that she's really darn good at it.
Yeah, she beat me to it.
Oh, I see that. I thought that was yours.
Nope.
Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you, Izabela.
Thank you, Iz.
So if we're done here, what's next?
Well, let's go find out. It's dark enough now, so...
we're right there in the Virgo Cluster, golly.
Yeah, should we go over to... we can actually go to the Virgo Cluster and...
I see.
Actually, the middle...
There's M87, Markarian's chain,
yep,
the eyes, M86, M84 are there. In the chain. Ton of Messier objects, sure.
Yeah. All right, let's go over there. I'm gonna take us to that spot rather than to an object. So here we go. I'm telling the telescope now to go to that location where the plus sign is. I don't have to tell it to go to a specific area. I can tell it to go to a spot in the sky. So right now, we're going up to star. That's our waypoint star, and it looks like it's going to be that one. And that star will be centered right there, and then the area that we're picking is going to be right there. So we should expect to see, in the lower left we'll see the Virgo galaxy. In the upper right we're going to see the eyes and Markarian's chain in part. It goes all the way through our view here. Alright, and I'll just select this galaxy anyway. It's not going to put us there, but I have to do that so that our view doesn't drift. So there's Measure 87 as promised, and here is part of Markarian's chain with the eyes right here. These are all galaxies, guys. Areas in the sky where you just can't believe how many stars there are before you, and then on top of that, you can't believe just how many galaxies are in the image. Galaxies with 100 or 200 or 500 billion and trillion stars each. It's just the most incredible.
The two
like
galaxies
M87 here.
Yeah, that's M87. The two galaxies to the right of the eyes are M86 and M84, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let me go back and look. Okay. Then we're going to go down here. That would be this guy.
M86.
That's M86. And this will be M84. Yep. You are correct as always. Alright, and so now that we're here, why don't we take a nice exposure, and I'm going to drop us down just a little bit. Now there's a couple ways to go here. There is a very, very subtle jet that we see coming out of M87, and that was probably a Starlink satellite. That's about the brightness and speed we see. And then this is M86, M84, and the eyes here. Another galaxy here, and more that go out here, and more. And let's just take the picture. You just have to see this to believe it. There are so many galaxies in this image. We'll do a 35-second shot. All right. And I probably shouldn't have done it right there. We're going to end up with a Starlink satellite. So why don't we... Oh, you know what? We don't have to take it. We'll let that go through. All right. Let me start over. I'm going to start over. I'm going to say 35 seconds again. Okay. All right. We're taking it now, and now we can go to our live stack. And just wait and see what we got cooking for you.
There's a interesting APOD image of what we're looking at from a few days ago. I'm going to post it in the chat. People can go look at it if they want. It's much the same view, maybe a little bit higher magnification. And what's interesting is of the two galaxies described as the eyes, the two real close together right in the middle there, you're just starting to pick up on it now. There's quite a lot of detail going on around that lower of the two eye galaxies.
Yeah.
Very interesting. A lot of wisps and stuff. Yet another gravitational interaction, which we've been seeing a lot of lately.
Yeah, galaxies are these big, fragile island universes of stars, you know, and many of them are elliptical galaxies, like M87 here, and some of them are tight spirals, like this guy over here, and like M84. Is that an elliptical, or is that actually a spiral? Looks like an SA spiral. I'm not sure. I'll check. I don't know. Let me check.
On the APOD picture, 86 and 84 look like ellipticals.
Okay,
it's hard to say.
Yeah, it shows us an E1 here, so that's a very, very spherical galaxy, kind of like this one here.
There are a ton of galaxies.
Says I'm sorry, go ahead, Dale. Finish.
No, go ahead.
Donald Kunzer says, I saw today that Starlink has been switching from radio frequencies to laser communication, so they had to eliminate the light darkening covering on the satellites launched recently. Interesting. I also saw a tweet from Elon Musk that said, we're changing the default Wi-Fi name of Starlink's router to Stinky. Which I thought was funny. You can't say he doesn't have a sense of humor. Oh, neutrino, yeah. When I first saw Starlink, and I assume you mean the Starlink train of satellites that were just recently released from the orbital vehicle, I thought we were finally being invaded. I was so excited, but I was wrong. That's funny.
They were pretty neat to see the first few times, and after a while, I don't know, it's something to see still. If I saw and knew that a procession was going to happen, a good one, I would probably still go out and look at it. But
Oh, I know I would. I haven't yet to see one.
oh,
I have people sending them to me all the time. They take images of them and say, "Look what I saw. What is this?" Yeah, that's a Starlink train. No, it's not. It's UFOs. I know that for a fact. I was told so many times. No, I'm sorry.
Mark, a favor.
Yeah.
The APOD image I posted in chat. It's about the right-hand half of your image, taking away about the upper third and the lower third. So it's concentrated on the eyes, M86, M84, and the spirals above M86 and below M86 and 84.
Okay.
But it shows some really fascinating details coming from the lower of the two galaxies in the eyes, and you're just barely seeing it there. Have we stacked enough images we might zoom in on that lower of the two eye galaxies?
We've got 7 stacks so far. We probably should wait until we have at least 10 or 12 stacked to try and do that. I can do it, sure, and then we will.
Okay.
But it might not be the best. Dr. Fox 2000. Hey, how are you? Dr. Fox 2000 runs a YouTube channel on volcanoes, and if you have not subscribed to him, man, you got to run over there and do that. It's another YouTube channel. It's great. Dr. Fox 2000. He's here in the chat. Question him, ask him questions here. As an astronomer, you tend to be somewhat critical of bad science, but Dr. Fox 2000 demonstrated to me that he had no bad science. He was extremely careful with what he was saying. So I think that what you want to do is get over there and patronize him. Go subscribe to Dr. Fox 2000. Welcome. Good to see you, man. Okay, 1 second there. We are at 9 stacked. We're going to be there in just a second.
Okay. James Dugan is here.
James Dugan. James, we have someone from Perth with us tonight as well. I think Simon is from Perth in Western Australia. Okay. This is our current object that we're looking at. We call it the Virgo Cluster, but each galaxy has its own name and its own quirks and cool things. And now what we're going to do is what you asked for, Daryl. We're going to zoom in on this galaxy with 10 stacked and see what we get.
Super.
We'll play with the settings here as well to see if we can pull out any additional detail. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to really do what's called a push. Okay, we can see some really interesting wisps right here. Look at that.
Yes.
A lot going on there. A lot going out there. This galaxy has definitely been torn apart, probably from interacting with this galaxy, I would think.
I would have to guess.
Yeah. Neato.
No, in that APOD image, it's...
I was trying to find it. I couldn't find it.
You want me to post it?
That's why. Yeah, because I haven't. Yeah, put it in the chat here.
Hang on just a sec.
Okay. Fantasy Spica was in the very beginning image that we looked at. Sorry, go ahead.
The tails there around the lower of the two eye galaxies, sort of different than what we see in the antennae galaxies.
Yeah.
And they're not obviously associated with that upper of the eye galaxies, but the tails are there, and I mean looks like two big whip cracks going across space.
Wow. Okay. All right, here it is. All right, cool. Let's go see. No. I do not. I'm going to... I'm just going to copy this link. Alrighty, let's go over here and... Want this one? Yeah, that's a good one. Alright, I'll do this. I assume this is it.
That's it.
And there's the guy right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Let's go check this out, guys. I will... how can I move that over? I guess I can't. Okay. So while we're waiting for these guys to come in here, let's go check out the image of them. There they are. This is the lower of those two galaxies that we call the eyes that he was telling you about. And you can see this actual beautiful strands coming through. This galaxy has literally been torn apart. But also notice all the other galaxies in this image. There are so many more galaxies in here that you can't see.
Yeah.
Look at that. We saw this.
Yep.
We saw that. And we saw that.
Interesting dark train through there too.
Yeah.
And all the background galaxies in that image. I mean, that's why it's the Virgo Cluster.
Yeah, that's true. So we can see some of that. All right. Okay. All right. So we have taken in 18 of these stacked so far. We're working on getting some more. Nice. Let's try a little enhancement. I'm going to go up to change this unsharp masking to 2 and even higher. Let's go higher. Now it's going to make artifacts around the stars, but what I want to do is get the details in here.
Yeah. And
sure enough, that dark nebula, that dark stuff inside this galaxy is now visible. See that?
Oh, absolutely.
Here it is. And there's that one we saw before. There's the other string going up there, and you can see it's really been warped and torn. And we have this other curved piece going here. So see, with just a little bit of additional processing, we can bring out some of those details. Let's try pulling this down just a little. Soften the noise enough. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. You can see it there.
Uh-huh.
Nice. And the music is majestic for these.
Donald would like to try the Silver Streak Galaxy next.
Hey, that's what we're about. We're about requests. If you know where we are and you've got some things you want to see, we will do it.
Yeah, it was visible to the lower right in Stellarium when you were headed this way. He asked if we had seen it before. The name sounds familiar. I don't remember if we looked at it or not.
Oh, yeah, we have. We sure have.
Okay.
Okay.
I see
so
that
21 stacked.
Spiral galaxy above M86 is starting to show detail too.
Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Okay, so this is the Virgo Galaxy Cluster. We'll just call it that. And let me know what it is so we can pull this out.
James, Izabela asked a little while ago, are the galaxies all that close together? And it sure looks like it, doesn't it? I mean, whatever pulled the tails out of the lower of the two eye galaxies, was it the one above it or some other galaxy in the neighborhood? There's just so many of them in the cluster.
And keep in mind, James, we're actually looking at a snapshot in time. So these galaxies could have already been whipping around each other multiple times before we saw this particular snapshot. So it's like whipping around, pulling itself apart, and then that's where we are right now in our history. We take those pictures and say, what did they look like before? We can't reverse engineer fully, but we can actually figure some of it out, and that's basically what we've done here. Trying to figure out what's going on there. Okay, let's soften the noise. Look at that. Well, that looks really pretty, huh?
Yeah, you can really see the dark details and stuff in that now.
Right there, yeah. Hey JSCO, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Good to see you. So we'll back out here, and we're gonna go check out one more thing before we move on. This is Measure 87. The Virgo Galaxy is massive. That's got several trillion stars, I believe, right? It's like 2 trillion stars, something like that.
Yeah, 1 or 2 trillion, I forget. It's the most massive.
What's a trillion?
I believe it's the most massive galaxy in the Virgo Cluster.
Yeah. Yep.
And right, that's the direction our whole galaxy is flying toward in space, is the Virgo Cluster.
Mm-hmm. Now keep in mind that we're in a cluster called a local group as it is. And those galaxies that we're orbiting and part of will eventually, one of them, the Andromeda Galaxy, is going to collide with us in a couple billion years. Okay, and probably make us look somewhat like one of the eyes, for all we know. But as a whole, that entire writhing galaxy cluster is heading toward this writhing galaxy cluster that we see here on the screen. Amazing, isn't it? And that galaxy cluster, us, and many other galaxy clusters like this one make up what we call Laniakea, which is a supercluster of superclusters of galaxies. It's amazing. Hello there, M. Turner. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. All right. So now, let's. I got that set up. Now we're going to save this. We're going to pause this now with 27 stacks. This is going to actually make a very nice image if somebody wants to analyze it. We're going to save the astronomical fits format file, which is a raw photo that you can be processed to make it look like this. And then we're going to save it exactly as seen. So now it's a ping file. So on the server, which is at skytourlive.com, and you scroll down and click on to go to the database, go to the date, and you'll see it by name. You'll see this name here, Galaxy Cluster. Actually it says Galaxy Cluster. I'll have to change that on the server later. I misspelled it. But yeah, it's beautiful. And so now that we're done there, let's clear this and take the request from Donald Kunzer, who asked to see the Silver Streak Galaxy. So we shall do that for you now, Donald. I very much like it when people want to see things and they have ideas of what's in the sky, because it shows me that not only are you paying attention, you actually have a working knowledge of the sky, which is really cool. So now we're going to go to the Silver Streak Galaxy. And let's see if I have it in here by that name. I probably should. This is by no means all of them. I've been actually putting them up here. Let's go to the Silver Streak. We have the silver coin, silver needle, silver streak. All right. As you can see, silver has, you know, a lot to do with it. Okay.
There it was, just a little to
So
the
now,
right.
it was. And so we're going to go there now. You'll watch here. As you watch on the screen, you're going to see that we are now moving the telescope. You can see a little bit of it moving up there. Maybe not. You know, it's so close that it's already almost at the place it has to be. Yep. And that's the high precision slewing that you see right here. It's telling us it's taking Nebula, which is the tail of the lion, Leo the lion, and it's centering it, and then it's going to go from there to the Silver Streak Galaxy. So this is what we call a waypoint star, especially for how we are running things here. So it's a little bit of a waypoint. So I'll put the cursor right there, and we should see the Silver Streak Galaxy show up right about on that cursor.
Fantasy would like to see M95 and 96.
Okay.
Maybe getting a little far in the west. It's probably still visible, though. Mark, would you excuse me a moment, please?
Sure. We're going to start stacking this and
okay. I'll be
wait
right
for you
back.
to come back here. No worries.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So this is the Silver Streak Galaxy, and we're going to take a 35-second shot of it. All right. And first things first, I'm going to go and want to make sure that our system is guiding, and we are. See the numbers over my head there? Yeah, these show us that we're guiding. We're actually peeking into the telescope's computer, and we are locked on and guiding. So now I can take images, and they will come out great. So we're going to get rid of the hybrid view that we have here and go back into a live stack. Now, we're not missing any data because the data on the chip, on the sensor, is not being read out yet. We're not going to see it on the screen until it finishes doing what we call integrating. It's going to finish this 35-second shot. So right now we're waiting, and you see the progress bar right over here. Okay, that progress bar, you can see it's counting up, counting down, 6, 5, 4, 3, and then once that finishes counting down, then boom, we get our image. Okay, and there's the Silver Streak Galaxy. Look at that. That is just something. All right, and we only have one here, but we can still actually do a process on it to kind of bring out some detail in it. And this vertical line that I'm moving is called the black level. If I move it to the right, past that peak, it gets darker. If I move it to the left, it gets lighter. Okay, so we really want to be kind of just before the whole peak right there. And then we can control the noise by moving this mid-level line down. And this yellow curve is the data we're intercepting in these curves right here. So if I move this to the left and get it intercepting a lot, well, then it's going to get extremely bright to the point where it's almost white. Okay, and then if we bring it down, now we come off the curve a little bit, and now we can actually get a metered amount of view here that will actually be pretty good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to 100% here now, and that right there is the Silver Streak Galaxy. Let me just go make sure we're in the right spot. Yeah, we are. Okay. Yeah, and we know what these two galaxies are as well. The guiding
Very
looks
nice.
good tonight. That means there's not a lot of wind out there. Yeah. And we're gonna, let me just try to do a color correction. Doesn't really need it, but that's all right. And now we'll bring this mid-level down to kind of reduce our noise a little bit. Actually, you know what? I actually have our enhancement up too high. I have it at 3 pixel width. I'm going to go back down to 1.5 for our enhancement here. And there we go. That's the sharpening, basically. Dynamic sharpening. Wow. That's pretty cool.
I assume that's a foreground star there, just to the left of the nucleus.
That guy right there?
Yep.
Yeah, actually looks a little blue.
That's
which
true.
is kind of interesting. I wonder if it's a supernova. I wonder if we just discovered a supernova. Why don't you look up the Silver Streak Galaxy and see if an image shows that star. If it doesn't, we have discovered a supernova.
Very good. What was the NGC number on that?
This is Silver Streak. This is NGC 4216.
Very good.
I can also zoom in here. Hold on, let me see if I zoom in. Oh yeah, it's there. There, oh look. That is there. See, it's a star.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah, it just came up for me, and it's there too.
All right. Well, hey, you know what? You can't tell if you don't actually try, right?
Yeah. 4216
hey, Vera, thank you.
4216 is a metal-rich intermediate spiral galaxy located not far from the center of the Virgo Cluster, 55 million light years away.
Yeah. A lot of the galaxies in the Virgo Cluster are on the order of 50 million light years away.
Uh-huh.
So we'd be foolish to suggest that maybe they don't really interact with each other. They probably do. This is really pretty, though. This is nice. Let's see if we can drag out some of the spiral structure here. Okay, I'm going to take it this way. Again, Vera, thank you, by the way. In case you didn't hear, I wanted to thank you for all your support. You guys are amazing.
You know, the images that came up, there's actually a lot of going on in this one too.
Look at this.
We can see
dark
the one
material here is
dark terrain in it, and dark lane, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, Neutrino says it's still cool. Yeah, it is. It's very cool, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh, by the way, I'm willing to bet that Marianne fell asleep and is no longer here. Just so you know, I bet you she's already like snoring away, probably. Yeah, James Dugan, you're right.
Chuck?
He'll tell you who Chuck is.
Okay.
Hey, Drop, how you doing? Oh, thank you. The screen layout's nice, right? It is. This is our telescope control section up there. This is our telescope in the building. This is me. Hi. Okay. This is our main view right here. Ta-da! We love our view. And of course, this is our camera control. The most important thing here is the exposure time right there. Okay, and then the gain adjustment right down here. The gain is the sensitivity that we're telling the sensor to utilize. The higher the gain, the more noise we'll get. All right, and we don't want noise, so we have to do a happy medium between the two. You know. And also, let me just put up what we are looking at too. This is NGC 4216.
The Silver Streak.
You got it. Let's just put that up so people can see it. There we go. We're starting to see some detail now. Now that we've got 13 stacked, you can start to see that we're getting some detail in these spiral arms here. Notice that?
Mm-hmm.
think it's time to zoom in now. Okay, we're at 150%, so we're actually over our native size of the sensor right now. But as you can see, the sensor does support it pretty well. Okay, and let's try to increase the contrast between these features. There we go. That's pretty cool. Look at that. You can see some nice detail in there. And of course, zooming out, you'll see lots of galaxies. We've got one right here. We've got one here. We've got one here, here, here. And we're not even zoomed out all the way, by the way. We got one here. Zoom out some more, and even more will show up. Starlink. There's one there. There's one there. This galaxy I've always found intriguing. Check this out, guys. This is a galaxy that looks like it's actually been through the mill. I think something actually interacted with that one, or is still interacting with that one. Isn't that incredible? Look at the detail in there, too. Wow. Well, Donald, thank you for suggesting the Silver Streak Galaxy. I'm pretty happy that you did, because we got a very nice image of the Silver Streak. I want to welcome Film Score Freak. How you doing, man? Welcome to our SkyTour live stream. You can check us out at skytourlive.com or on YouTube, of course. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram and Twitter, and we're all over the place. Simon says, just realized that you're using a combination of APT and SharpCap. Yes, I am. This is APT here and SharpCap here. I use them for specifically different things. And that's actually not all, because I'm actually using this as well. This is Stellarium. And Stellarium is one of the ways I could use this thing here. This is called astrophotography tool. I could use this to actually get to the different objects by just selecting the objects right here. But I prefer to do a nice visual view. So that's what this is all about. So I'm actually heading to these objects by doing this. All right. Notice how close to the horizon we are, to the western horizon. We're actually pretty low now.
Yep.
We can't even look at the antenna galaxies anymore, which are down here.
Yep. Yeah.
So
Fantasy wanted
what
to
that
see
means,
95 and 96.
I don't think we're gonna be able to now.
I don't think so.
Let's find out. We'll go check it out, see how far they are. Alright, let's do M95. Alright. Oh, yeah. That's... Unfortunately... let's just try something here. Let me just see the altitude. Yeah, it's too low, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This
Tim
is...
Turner asked about the sombrero.
Okay.
It should
We
still
should be able
up.
to find... Yeah, sombrero is going to be... I think it'll be up. We have the sombrero in here.
Yeah, it's just west of Spica.
Yeah, it's right there. So, let's go check that out. And first things first, though, I got to go out and take this live stack, pause it, and change this to Silver Streak Galaxy. Okay, Silver Streak Galaxy. And alright, you guys have seen this, so we can pull that out. And now let's save this. And they'll be saving our raw file. And then save exactly as seen. If you guys want to know what the raw file does for you, I could do that in a separate stream. But the raw file it has all the data, but it doesn't look like this. We have to make it look like this by using something like Photoshop or whatever. It's an unprocessed raw file, but it really does do wonders. We can dig out a lot of data, sometimes more data than we can actually see here. All right, let's go back to this now. There's more galaxies out there. Galaxies everywhere. And just think of this, guys. How many civilizations are we seeing right now? Possibly. How many? That's pretty amazing to me. It really is, because we could be looking at an awful lot of potential civilizations. All right. All right, so now what we'll do, I think I just saved it, didn't I? I do it like
so.
automatically. All right, I'm gonna do it one more time. Doesn't matter. It's not gonna hurt a thing. All right. Okay. All right. So now our ping file is out there now on our database, which you can get to by going to skytourlive.com and scrolling down and clicking "Take me to the database." Dr. Fox 2000 says, "Mark, how many are looking at us?" That's correct. There might be a whole slew of them looking at us. You're absolutely right. Absolutely right. Now I've got I'm not really tired right now, so I have a feeling I'm going to want to stick around to catch my Rho Ophiuchi complex. If you haven't seen the Rho Ophiuchi complex, you're in for a treat. There's so much dust in the universe. It's just incredible. All right, so let's clear this now. And let's leave this stack behind. We don't need it anymore. And let's now go to our 1 second image and do our hybrid view. And the hybrid view will then take us to, we'll be able to see the image come in. And now what we'll do is go to the Sombrero Galaxy. Was that Fantasy asking for that? Who asked for the Sombrero?
I'd have to look. I have to scroll up. I forget now. M. Turner,
Okay.
I think.
Oh, M. Turner. Okay, great. Hi, Deb B. How are you? Okay.
She mentioned the sombrero also.
Okay. Okay, we're doing high precision slewing now to this particular star, and you'll see the star right there. It'll center up right around there, and then the Sombrero Galaxy will be there. Sombrero in this telescope is going to be kind of small. Izabela says, wasn't Rho Ophiuchi the first object you looked at, or we looked at in Arizona? It was actually close to being one of the first objects we ever looked at. That's correct. Deb, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for coming. There is, what is that? That's not the Sombrero. I must have picked the wrong thing. Sorry.
And just see, oh yeah, you're looking at 4565.
Yeah, I must have picked the wrong one. Sorry, but actually, while we're here, this is also a beautiful galaxy. Should I look at it or just go to what was requested?
Give it a look real quick.
All right, we'll do that. We'll just take a couple shots. We won't save them. Because to be fair, if you request something, I want that to be the priority I give you. All right, so let's just do...
Oh, I mentioned last time we looked, I thought it was interesting comparison here between the needle and the sombrero. They're similar, but the sombrero is a little more tilted.
Yeah, good idea.
The dark so that's what we're going to do then. Are very similar.
We're going to take a 35-second exposure here. Our guide just kicked in. Notice right there it says it's just kicking in now. The numbers here are showing up. That shows we're doing our minor sub-arc second maneuvers. And here we go. So that's going to come in. And after this, we'll go to the Sombrero and do a comparison between these two. I'm not going to, like I said, if it looks good, I'll save it. But I'm not necessarily going to save it. It looks stunning, though.
Yeah, 4565 and the Sombrero, they're both edge-on Galaxies. I think they look rather similar.
Yeah.
4565 is a little more edge-on and straight line, while the Sombrero, you can see the curve of the edge.
Yeah. So here is 4565. And I'm going to move this off just a bit to give us a little more visibility into the space around it. Every time I hear this air strings, the United States Air Force Band is playing this one, by the way. I think of that. There was a game I used to play where you have to try and achieve Earth orbit in a spacecraft. And if you do, this song plays. You know, really classic. All right, so here is an edge-on galaxy to us, an edge-on spiral galaxy. There you see that dark lane of interstellar material, dust, and so forth. And that dust consists of silicon particles, carbon atoms, bonded, carbon molecules, and a lot of ices like formaldehyde ice, methanol, carbon dioxide ice, water ice, and so forth. And these are kind of the building blocks of planets. And that's something that we would see, in our solar system. Had we gone back 4.5 billion years, we would have seen a slurry of these materials. And then once the star is formed in there, the star starts to boil off these ices on these particles. They're free, they move around, they orbit around the sun, the star, and form planets, and so forth. So we're looking at this stuff here. And where does that stuff come from? That stuff comes from the passing of other stars. Not passing as in, going by, but the dying of other stars. When a big star explodes in a supernova, we get a lot of this stuff thrown out there as well. And when a star makes a planetary nebula, like the red giant, then you get this soot in the outer atmosphere that is carbon molecules and silicon, and they move away from the star slowly over time, filling the universe within the galaxy, and they become that which other stars are born from. I tried to be as concise as I could with that one, Daryl, but it's kind of hard because it's got so much going on. So there we go. All right, I've done 5 stacked. That's really pretty.
It is. Actually pretty crisp.
It's just, yeah. Okay, I think that's... Alright, let me go see where the sombrero is relative to where we are and make sure that we're not cutting off our nose to spite our face.
How so?
I don't want to miss the sombrero because that was a request.
Yeah, well,
it's pretty low.
To the lower left there.
Yeah. We might have the building interfering, and we would have before anyway. But wow, this is really pretty.
It's thin because it's edge on, Deb.
Yeah. But you see what galaxies look like in profile generally. The nucleus is big and bulgy, like this.
Yep.
Alright.
But if you could imagine that projected up in our sky, I mean, that's very much what our Milky Way looks like.
Yeah.
Except we're inside it, but we see the dark lanes, we see the bright spiral arms.
And then this guy right here, I think that is a hydrogen alpha region or a stellar nursery, H2 region in this galaxy that we can see from here. Pretty sure that's what that is. That's not a star in the foreground. These little dots, by the way, the green dot, the red dot, those are locations where, in this particular photo, one of the pixels on the camera wasn't picking up properly. And it changes all the time. You know, we'll see different ones at different places. We can eliminate those easily. Okay, we're going to do 10 of these and then stop and go to the sombrero, and hopefully we'll get to see it. Deb B says, if we could somehow see the Milky Way from elsewhere. Oh yeah, that would be wonderful. Hello, audio engineer. How you doing? What do we need to do to advance our technology so we can see planets? Well, Daryl, you can take that one if you like.
No, I was just going to... I assume he means planets around other stars.
Oh, I'm sorry. If that's what you mean, I apologize. I thought you were talking about planets here. Our telescope in our solar system, planets are going to be small in this particular telescope. But, you know, that's only because we don't we don't have a very high power scope. We have one that has a field that's several full moons across and tall. It's a wide field. Okay, we're going to pause this now.
That's one of the things that everybody's looking forward to, the web.
Yeah.
Because they're going to start looking at exoplanets with it. And we'll see just what we can see of other planets around other stars.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about the web is it sees only in the infrared. So what's going to happen is we're going to be able to see the atmospheres, potentially, of these exoplanets. And although we're not going to be able to see oxygen directly, we can infer the oxygen by how oxygen molecules in the atmosphere might collide with each other. Because that collision produces a signal in the infrared that we can see. So depending on how much of that we see, that's going to be indicative of how much oxygen there is. I want to say hi to Joe Letitia. He is in the chat. Joe Letitia is a childhood friend, okay? And my nickname was Barona. If you remember Star Trek, you know, William Shatner said, I am Barona. And in one of the episodes, he called himself Barona.
He did?
He did. That's right. He goes,
don't remember that.
I am Barona. Yeah, no, he did. Yeah. It's good to see you, Joe. That's cool. Look at this galaxy, though, huh, Joe? I mean, and everybody, check it out. It's an edge-on spiral to us, NGC 4565. It's just stunning. Really pretty. Yes, sirree. All right. So, NGC 45. Okay, now I'm gonna save it one more time. If I haven't saved it, I'm gonna save it again. Save it exactly as seen. Now we can get rid of this. We'll get rid of it after, but I want to leave it in the buffer so that when we get out of here, we're going to go to the Sombrero Galaxy, and you'll see the vast difference between this and the Sombrero. So now, let me just pull that out of here. Okay, come here, you. Don't need you anymore. And
Vast?
Huh?
Vast difference?
Yes.
Okay, you say so.
Joe says, I grow fatigued. Remember Wrath of Khan? Actually, it wasn't. It was actually Botany Bay, the episode Botany Bay in Star Trek. I grow fatigued, Captain. I like that. All right, let's go see if we can do this. I'm not sure we can. It's a little bit low, but let's try it. All right, we're going to go there now. Let's go back to our 1 second rate here from 35 seconds. Let's go to the hybrid view. Give us a view here. And, well, okay, this is our flat field. So the flat field correction we're going to Algorab here. That's what we're auto centering on. And make sure you, again, go to skytourlive.com and check out all of our images. There's a link. There's a link there to go right to this database. So it's all there. Ricardo says, Mark, did you put me in a time Ottawa? I'm not sure what that means.
Time out.
Huh?
Time out.
Oh, okay.
Somebody evidently
No.
put him in a timeout.
Ricardo, I did not. But if you hey, hang out with us. Yes, I remember the ceramic lion I made in high school. I remember that thing getting smashed too. Okay, obviously we're not able to see this. I apologize. So we're gonna end up having to go to a different object.
Are you sure you're looking in the right? Well,
Yeah.
this says sombrero. I didn't think it was that far away from Spica.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let's go look where Spica is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The sombrero should be right in this view.
Okay.
But if you notice,
yeah, well, you're right.
it's white because we're looking at part of the building wall right now. Again, I don't have the lifting columns on here yet, so I can't lift it up above that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
But 4565 was really pretty. But now, let's try to go over to Scorpius. Can I do this yet? Uh-oh. I think we can. I think we can go to Rho Ophiuchi now.
Well, Planetari's is due south.
It is directly right there. Oh my gosh.
Yep, you're prime time, actually.
This is prime time. Rho Ophiuchi Nebula. Let's go. Oof. I love this section of the summertime sky. This is going to be beautiful. Oh. I think I didn't mean to, but I think I actually might have corrupted our possibly viewing the sombrero because my exposure time was down at 4 milliseconds and not higher, so that's why things didn't appear the way they should have. So, okay, looks like we're using Antares here as our... Yeah, we are, because there's Measure 4. Wow. Okay, so Antares has all these halos because it's an extremely bright star. We can't get away from those. Now we're going up to Rho Ophiuchi, and I'm so excited. I haven't seen this in a year. Gosh, I can't wait. And I see. Looks like Dark Nebula here already.
Yeah.
Let me make sure we're in the right spot, because I know that sometimes we don't go in the right spot. Yeah, see, we gotta move over a little more. Alright, that's fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna move a little bit toward the west. Let's move us west. Go west, young man. Hey, Daniel Whitaker, how you doing? Good to see you. Yeah, thanks, Drop. I'm glad you enjoy it. We enjoy it as well. Okay. We're now entering the part of the sky where it is so full of dust and other material that I think it's gonna kind of really surprise you. So let's do this. Let's go over here, go over a little more. And now let's go north. And Rho Ophiuchi will show up here in the view when we get here. So it should be in the view here now. There it is. That's Rho Ophiuchi. And now we're gonna let our... Oh, I'm so excited. I actually want to zoom in, make sure that we don't have to refocus, because sometimes I forgot to put on the temperature compensation. And we do have to refocus. Excellent. So now once I refocus, it's going to be exceptional. So what we're going to do is we're going to pop the focus out a little bit. All right. And out a little more until it's obviously out of focus, which it is now. All right. And let's go back into that. And now we're going to go to Tools and Focus Assistant and Multi-Star Full Width Half Maximum. There we go. And now we're going to scan in with our focus and build that curve again. Then I'll put on the temperature compensation like I should have. That's good, Daniel.
Slow down, Mark. Take a deep breath. Take 3.
Who said that?
I did.
Oh. I'm just excited, Daryl. This is crazy. I finally get to see Rho Ophiuchi again after a year, and now it's collimated and focused. I honestly don't know what to expect. It's really cool. But I'll do what you say. I'll try to slow down and take a breath.
Take 2. Take 3.
Yes. Izabela, I do have the STLS music is playing in the background there. And your grandma up in the star. Joe says. And your grandma?
What happened to the lion you mentioned, the ceramic lion?
Oh, well, that one. See, we used to have a pool in the backyard. And Joe was always doing really interesting little pranks. And one of those pranks was to take that ceramic lion that I made in art class in high school and put it right in the bottom of the center of our pool. Which I thought was funny because I didn't know where it was. I looked in the pool and there it was! Like, ah! Okay. Let's go here, and we got our curve. There's our curve, and there's our focal point. Let's do best focus. All right. So we go out, and now we're going to come into sharp focus. Oh, that's perfect focus now. Okay, and now I'm going to turn on the temperature regulation here. All right, there we go. All right, then we'll get out of this. Kill this. And oh, all right, here we go. We're gonna turn this up to 350. And no, actually, I'm not. I'm gonna put it at 300. I'm gonna do a 300, and I'm gonna do a photo where gotta wait for the guide star to kick in, but there it goes. And now we're gonna say 45 seconds here. There we go. We're going to start a 45-second exposure here. Now, you don't see much. You just see stars, but I want to show you what's hiding behind all those stars. And we're going to live stack this now. We're going to clear this last one. And when the sensor gets read out, you're going to see it. Okay. Rho Ophiuchi, Rho off. Complex. Okay. Here we go. Oh, you guys. Okay. Guiding wasn't perfect, but you can see the blue nebula as already. I have to. I got a little premature. I should have listened to Daryl. To get perfect guiding. Look where the telescope's pointing. It's nice and high in the sky, relatively speaking. It's pretty good. Yeah, Joe wants to see M27. That's the Dumbbell Nebula. Okay, and we will check that out. We will check that out. Alright, let's see if this one's better. Oh yeah, look at that. Now that's better. Okay, so let's try to see. Now you can see this is kind of a stretch to show you what's there with this dark nebula. All right, and we will meter that back a little bit and pull this down just a bit to soften our noise levels. Now we're going to color correct, and when you color correct, things even look better. Look at that. This gorgeous blue nebula. This is all dark nebula in here, by the way, guys. These little black strands, these are all a complex of dark nebula. I can't believe we got Rho Ophiuchi again. Holy cow. People are saying, Rho Ophiuchi, is this guy off his rocker? Yeah, I guess I am. But now what's happening is, as we go on here, and Daryl, you know this, the longer we stack, we only have 2 stacked, the more detail emerges. Because the stack is taking an image, taking a second image, and aligning it with the first, okay, and literally overlaying it, or adding it. And we do that, and make an image stack all the way up. Bump, bump, bump. And this stack will bring all the data out. Even subtle nebulae, dark nebulae, is data. And it's going to start coming out. And when it comes out, it leaves the noise, which is the stuff in between the stars that doesn't belong. That goes away. So it's like we're pulling away veils of noise, little by little, little by little. Yeah. So look at this. Look at this now. Look how this is coming out already. Holy cow. What do you think, Daryl?
Sorry, I was looking something up. It's all right.
All right. Yeah, I
No,
know.
it
hasn't. We have a lot.
Let it build up some. I assume that's Antares down at the bottom, right?
Nope, that is not
No?
Antares. No, Antares is far south of there, out of
Not
the field.
that far.
Yeah, it's far out of here. Watch, I'll show you. So there's Antares down there, and this is our field of view. Let me show you.
Oh, okay.
That's our field of view.
Yeah.
So the star you're seeing is this one
Probably.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, because I actually moved this. Oh no, I didn't. Actually, that's where we are right there. Look at this now. See, look at this dark nebula coming in now, right? And let's try to pull some contrast out of that dark nebula. Wow, look at that. Let's color correct and make it look even better. Did I get that? Maybe I did. Okay, hold on. Wow, that is incredible. Daniel Whitaker asks, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Daniel Whitaker asks, is that a carbon star in the lower corner? That he's talking about this star here.
Yep.
I don't believe that's a carbon star. That's looks like Sigma Scorpius. Is that what it looks like? Is that the one, or is it this one? No. Well, we have this.
I think it's Sigma.
I think it is, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, that's actually not Sigma. It's O Scorpius. And the spectral type of this star is actually an A42. So why does it look reddish? Look at all these sweeping. Look at these guys. See these now? See how it's coming in? Holy cow! Wow. You know what? You know how we did the panoramas of the Orion Nebula area? I can promise you with certainty that we're going to do an amazing panorama of the entire Rho Ophiuchi complex. Not tonight, but soon. Yep.
Getting to be that time of year.
Mm-hmm. Joel teacher says, anybody care to join me in a bowl of frosted mini wheats? How about, those golden grams? How about those? Remember golden grams? Wow, this is incredible. Oh. This music is perfect for this too. Just perfect for this nebula. Hey Jello. Jello's here with us now. Let's push it to show you what's really there. Yeah. See what's really there? We're getting there.
Surprised more red hadn't come out yet.
Oh, well, this is a reflection complex. The red is down below. You can see a little bit of it down here. Okay.
I see a little on the right too.
Yeah, you might see here. Yeah, let's color correct and make sure that that belongs there. Yeah, there's some red there. Oh man, if we go long enough, we might be able to see like the Lagoon Nebula again. Looking at the telescope, we might be able to get the lagoon.
Draw, you're my kind of guy.
All I got is cornflakes and Rice Krispies.
That's what I have.
Snap, crackle, and pop.
I have a box of Cheerios too.
Yeah.
Ophiuchi is the serpent bearer. He's holding the snake serpents in his arms. The head is sticking out on the west side, and the tail is sticking out on the east side. And Ophiuchi is associated with healing, and I never can remember the guy's name. Ancient Greek doctor, healer back in the day. Asclepius or something like that.
Okay. Okay, now the name is in the way. Let me just pull it away for now, and then we'll bring it back in a minute. Look at this. Look at this beautiful area down here. Wow.
I used to like Captain Crunch, but that stuff just tore up my mouth something off.
I ate so much I get cut. It would cut me.
Like eating broken glass.
After a period of time, yeah. Okay, I'm going to we stacked 11 of these.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch is okay.
What'd you say?
Fantasy said Cinnamon Toast Crunch is
yeah.
the best cereal. It's
Yeah.
alright.
It's okay, yeah.
When you see Ophiuchi up in the sky, Daniel, Ophiuchi and serpents on either side, I always thought it looked like a big boiled egg sitting on a leaf of lettuce. I make food associations and constellations sometimes.
Apparently so.
It's like the summer triangle is the big slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Homer Simpson saw cowboys in the sky. I see food sometimes. No, you haven't, Vera. Thank you. I'm almost afraid to click on that fantasy. I don't know what you have there.
And Cosmic Ray says, are you guiding from the main imager? No, I actually have a secondary guide system on top of the telescope that's doing the guiding. Look at how this is coming out. Look at the more we do, the better it is.
Okay, thank you. Huh, that was interesting.
Well,
that played right in the chat window.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Fantasy posted a clip from Family Guy about Captain Crunch.
Okay.
And it popped up right where the chat window is.
Oh, I want my Captain Crunch. Yes, that's because it's a link in the chat.
Evidently. I'd never seen it do that before.
Wow. Okay, let's
CND is here. Hello, CND.
Hey, CND boy. Good to see you again. I mean, this image is screaming for a stack just below this. You know that? Look at all these dark nebulas. See, we're now entering the dark lanes in the galaxy, just like we saw in NGC 4565. No, I didn't yawn. I have not yawned yet, Jello. Nope. Look at that, though. Wow. This is beautiful. I wanted to see it, and now we got it. This is 16 stacked, so what we're going to do is we're going to pause it at 16. Rho Ophiuchi complex, we're going to save it. Save it. Go ahead, Daryl, you have to say something?
No.
Okay, save exactly as seen. Okay, and now we're going to clear this and get out of this. Come back here. That should stay. I don't know why it doesn't. All right, there we go. All right, and now we gotta basically bring these stars all the way to the top. So we're just gonna go down here now.
I knew you were going to do that.
You did, didn't you? I have no choice. I must do this.
Going to stitch them together later?
Oh, you betcha. Look at that. Well, this is going to be stunning. I'll leave enough overlap. So now what we'll do is we'll make it the same exact... what was that exposure last time? 35 seconds?
45, I think.
Okay, 45 seconds it is. Uh-oh. Get that Starlink out of there. There we go.
Take
All
care,
right.
Simon. Thanks for coming.
Hey, Simon, thank you. And hello, Flight Fernando from Brazil. You are from Brazil, as is Vera Lucia Campos. Okay. Welcome. Thank you, Daniel, for the confirmation of the 45 seconds. I appreciate that.
I like peanut butter toast for breakfast.
Oh, man, me too. Especially on rye bread. All right. Let's see what we got here.
I like peanut butter on rye.
Oh,
There
this
you go.
is... Okay. Here we go. Let's actually... Wow. Ah. Let's back it out. Look at that. Look at that. Wow. Oh. Jesus, I've been missing this for so long. I've never seen it in focus and collimated properly, so this is the first time this has been
Look,
perfect.
you got a satellite up the top.
I do, but it should be going that other way. So let's see if that's the only streak we get. I'm about to find out. Yeah, it's out of the picture. Notice how much clearer this is. That's Rho Ophiuchi up there now. We just saw that, so now we came down below. All right, and we're just gonna do these two. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Wow.
I don't want to hurt your feelings, Mark.
Yes?
Ophiuchi? Ophiuchi. With a K sound.
Well, I say things my way. Potato, potato, you know.
Alright.
But it's all right. Yes,
I
I've heard it.
imagine you
I've
get
heard it
good
both
rye
ways.
bread where you live. I can't find good rye bread around here, at least not
Really?
at my grocery.
Oh, no, I
Although,
go to a bakery, a direct bakery that has it. They make it fresh every
yeah.
day. Yeah, I like getting my Ophiuchi bread.
Arr.
Arr, arr, arr. Look at
That's
this.
quite a picture.
Oh yeah. Mm. Wow. Summer is on the way, guys. Summer is on the way. This is going to go into the same directory too, by the way. Yeah, go ahead, Daryl.
Peanut butter and bacon makes a great sandwich.
Why does that not sound at all appetizing? I have to take a Tums just because you said that.
You have to try it.
I have to?
Well, if you try it, you'd like it. Peanut butter and bacon on whole wheat toast.
Wow. All right.
It's a great sandwich.
All right. I grant you that there might be something to it. Look at that. There's so much going on in here.
There you go, Donald.
It is Izabela. It's a very beautiful. Artie Lang, bacon is the candy of meat. Yeah. I do believe Artie Lang had a heart attack, however.
You're no fun. Jeez. That's a very nice picture right there.
Rho Ophiuchi sounds good, Film Score Freak says. Yeah. But Deb B doesn't think that peanut butter and bacon sounds good. I think that's what she's talking about. This is a really pretty picture. Wow. Oh, wow. You know what my goal is, guys? I would eventually like to take and get a huge panorama of the entire summer Milky Way. The whole thing. It's a big project. Yep.
James, you eat Marmite. What do you know? I've never had the nerve to try Marmite or Vegemite or whatever that mite stuff is.
Well, for those that don't know what he was talking about, if you're just listening and not looking in the chat, James Dugan from Australia said, never tried it. Peanut butter is not that big in Australia. And that's what prompted Daryl to say what he said.
Yeah. Some Europeans like peanut butter. They mostly eat Nutella. Fantasy mentioned Nutella too.
Yeah.
I tried Nutella once. I thought it was too sweet. I bought a jar. I wound up trying it once or twice, and then it sat in the cabinet until it went bad. I threw it away.
Daryl, this is starting to look three-dimensional now.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yep. Let's see if we can coax some data out of this. Let's move it a little bit. Let's move it a little bit let's move the dark level back just a bit.
Good night, Joe. Your friend is leaving. Say good night.
Oh, okay. All right, Joe. Hey, good to see you, man. Talk soon. Hope you come up here during the summer. There we go. If I drop that a little, that's probably going to soften it, so I'm going to bring it up a little. Wow.
Yeah, fantasy.
Look at that.
Nutella's hazelnut. They just put too much sugar in it for me. I thought it was way too sweet. And of course, hazelnuts are pretty rare here in the U.S. now. I forget what disease it was, but some disease got brought stateside and it killed all the hazelnut trees in the country.
Wow. It was a plan.
Probably.
Wow, this is really, really, really pretty. Let me tell you.
That is.
Look at this. You can start to see some brightening around the edges. We've talked about this last summer as well. This is a reflection nebula here. The stars are actually the light is actually being scattered by the dust particles that prior were dark like this. But when these stars formed in here, because as I said, these are the this is the building blocks, the foundations of star formation and planetary formation. They illuminated this. They started lighting up this cloud, and it scatters the light in the same way that the sunlight gets scattered when it's on the horizon. You see the red sun. It's because the blue light's being scattered. So that's why we have these nebulae called reflection nebulae. What were you saying?
Daniel corrected me. Nutella is hazelnuts. And
You're not talking...
what I said was it's about chestnuts, not hazelnuts.
Okay.
Sorry, it's late. I'm tired. I should have gone to bed already.
Well, if you do, I'm going to keep going because look at this subtle stuff right here.
Yeah, I'm going to stick around a while.
If you can see it like this, guys, just imagine when we start to actually do some processing. Now, keep in mind, this material here, this reflection nebula, is just an area of the dark nebula that has started scattering the light from these stars. And you can see the range over which that's doing that. It's sort of like a cloudy, dusty region here. Same with this up here. And the red stuff you see, that is a combination because it's not just dust, it's also hydrogen gas. And the hydrogen gas will get ionized and glow red by hot stars as well. So it's sort of mixed all together. So this is a really particularly interesting area right here, if you notice, because we're seeing an area where there is a reflection nebula. But if we zoom in on that, you'll see that that reflection nebula has got some detail in it that is really interesting. This star may or may not be responsible for causing this reflection nebula here. This could be caused by these stars over here going through, and remember, it's a 3D universe. It could be going through a little keyhole of space to illuminate and cause and have this dust start scattering that starlight this way. Or it could be something inside the cloud that we can't see. You notice all the red stars in here?
Yeah.
Those red stars may very well be M stars that are red. Okay, M-type stars, cool and small and red. Or these are regular stars that are buried inside the dark clouds, and thus their light is scattered. The blue light is scattered, making the light look red. Again, we could be looking at all the red stars here for the same reason that the sunset is red.
Okay,
the blue light is being scattered. Yeah.
I was checking that earlier.
Yep.
Such a dusty region, yeah.
Yeah, and whenever we see dust, you're going to see lots of red stars in the dust, and that causes lots of what's called interstellar extinction, or just plain old extinction, and that causes the light to look dimmer, okay? But then you're also going to get scattering of the starlight, and the blue part gets scattered very easily. Those short wavelengths are very high energy blue, and that gets scattered really nicely, and that leads to redder looking stars and illuminated regions of nebulae. Remember when we first started, this nebula was the only thing we saw, and now we see that it comes down here, goes over here, it's over there, and over there. Just amazing. Yeah, and then we got... Look at that now, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Ah. Let's see if we can do some processing. Let's just process it, let it do its thing, see what it wants to do. Ah, look at that. Wow. Hard to believe.
Moment, please.
Yeah, hard to believe, but that's okay. That's all dark dust of carbon and silicon atoms and molecules with ice on them. Okay. Here in this location, these stars may have melted the ices off of these particles, and they scattered the blue light, and just makes these beautiful views. Isn't this amazing, guys? This is just outstanding. Outstanding. Wow. Hoo-wee dee dee. Let's see if we can. It's nearly correct, but let's just. There we go. Just enough of a correction. Look at that. Wow. Wow. Okay, thank you for hiding people on the channel that are being stupid. Actually, they're not even people, they're bots. Isn't this beautiful, Bonnie? This is beautiful. Hey, look, you know what I say? It's a sure sign that you're reaching more people when you start getting bots attacking your chats. It's a compliment.
Well, that just gets better and better.
Isn't that beautiful? I'm going to actually drop this down just a tad to soften the noise. Little. Look at that. Wow. Wow. That is amazing. We have 18 stacked here. What this is going to do, you know, is it's going to lead us right into being able to photograph the Lagoon Nebula. And the Lagoon is going to blow your minds. Look at the subtle stuff in here. Look at that subtle little fibrous guys. We can zoom in on that now.
Oh, you haven't done the Lagoon since you collimated the scope,
I have
you?
not. Collimation, guys, is a way to get everything aligned so that everything focuses perfectly. I was subtly out of focus, and I knew it, but hadn't gotten to get out there to fix it. But now, I did actually last year, and unfortunately it was after the summer, so I didn't get a chance to see this. You know, giggity goo. Yes, we're gonna look at the Lagoon tonight, I believe. Wow.
Be nice when you get those lines on the right side taken care of.
I'm going to remove them artificially for the processing, but I got to find out what they are and get rid of them. Okay, 20 images stacked, and we're going to pause it here. Save it again. It's going to go to the same directory as the Rho Ophiuchi, which is Ophiuchi for Daryl, and then save it exactly as seen. All right, and don't worry, it's not lost. It may be gone, but it's not lost. Just think, there's only better things to see now.
Cosmic Ray has a question for you.
Cosmic Ray.
How often do you do dark frame?
Actually, I'm not doing any dark frames. And the reason is because the dark frame process would take an extended amount of time, and I'm in for the quick hit to show you guys cool things. I am doing a flat field, automatic flat field in the camera, and I tried using a generic dark frame, but it varies, depends on where you're looking in the sky, and you need to do it where the object is, and I don't want to hook people into having to wait for 30 frames of the same length. But that's the only reason. Oh,
Alice.
Oh.
Alice asked, "Can galaxies collide with nebula?" Alice, nebulas are small. Galaxies are big, relatively speaking. Nebulas are inside galaxies, so they probably wouldn't collide with each other.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna now go to the Lagoon and consider your mind about to get blown here, so And let's go back and... What we did last year, guys, was we started looking at a lot of dark nebulae. Oh. Oh, it looks like the lagoon might be just hitting the building. No.
Too early?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I didn't see Ascendant. Did you have Stellarium up?
Yeah, I did. And I did send it. That's... Yeah, it's not finding it. Okay, so I'm gonna have to abort this for now. I might be able to... It's trying to go to a very, very different location. And actually... I'm just being too... See, it's trying to... It's really close to it, though. Okay. I'm going too fast. So that's actually where it's trying to go to. So we're actually not right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring the telescope north a bit. Actually, to do it, I'm going to...
Donald asks, can a supernova affect the galaxy it's in? Donald, when a supernova happens, it's often as bright or brighter than every other star in the galaxy. But as far as actually affecting anything, I would say that's more like a neighborhood thing of where the supernova is.
Yes.
Like if a galaxy is 100,000 light years across, like the Milky Way, a supernova might affect things, I don't know, 10, 20, 50, 100 light years away, probably. Something
Good, yeah.
like that.
Okay. I think we're close to the edge of the building right here. So it's not going to be a good photo. We'll have to wait. But you know what? I can show you what it's supposed to look like. And there's an awful lot going on in this. Oops. That was not what I wanted to do. Sorry. Yeah, we're getting glow of the building in here. Sorry.
Looks like the scope's pretty far to the southeast.
Yeah, we're getting impingement here, which is what this glow is. So let's do something a little different. Let's try to go up and see if we can...
Suggestion?
You're going to say eagle?
No, well, you could if you want, but, you know, the farther north the better, because it'll be higher above the horizon. Somebody or one or more people asked for M27 earlier.
Oh, yeah, he left. That was Joe.
Oh.
But, yeah, we can do that. Let's just try to go to the Eagle Nebula. Let's see the Pillars of Creation. We'll give it a shot. All right. All right, that looks promising. Oh, wait a minute. Let's, yeah. Very promising. Okay.
Thank you, James. Does it mean you're getting popular when you start getting porn bots in your chat?
I said almost that exact sentence about 10 minutes ago.
Oh.
Probably when you were away. Yeah, there were two more actually before that.
Oh, yeah, I must have been gone then. This is the first ones I've seen.
Yeah. And yes, it does. Okay, here we go. This is the Eagle Nebula, the Pillars of Creation. Let's zoom in and make sure that focus looks good. Go to 125%. Yeah, alright. That doesn't look too bad. There are the pillars right there, live. and 1 second exposure. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to come down. We're going to start this exposure at 50%. All right. And now let's go and do a 40-second exposure here. It's going to be really bright. Not because of the building, but because, well, maybe. But because of the fact that it's a bright nebula. Let's get rid of that guy. Go into our stack. Oh, can't believe it. Summer is upon us, guys.
Day after tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, I was needing to look that up.
Okay, 4 seconds. Now let's see what we got. Oh. Wow. Yeah, see how bright it is? And what I'll do is I don't need to fix that. I just need to move this over. We'll just dim that out. Look at that. Look at the pillars of creation right there. Wow. Let's zoom in.
6:14 a.m. on Tuesday, June 21st. That's Eastern time.
Wow. Wow, look at that, huh? I've never seen the eagle with this kind of detail before.
Yeah. Boy, that is a lot clearer than what I remember before.
Yeah. Subtle detail in here. And this is with two images stacked. You know, look at all this detail we never saw before. It was just a big mush before.
Daniel asks, would a supernova in the Milky Way be visible by eye? Daniel, it depends on where.
Yeah, if it's Betelgeuse, you betcha.
Yeah, if it's close by and there's not a lot of dust in between in the way. If a supernova happened in the center of the Milky Way or near it,
yeah,
we quite probably would not see it. There's so much dust in the way.
Yeah.
We might see effects like light echoes and stuff, but
Sure.
that'd be pretty cool to see. I don't think I've ever. Well, I'd have to think about that. Have I ever seen a light echo?
I have not seen a light echo. But I have to think about that too, because maybe we did when we were looking at one of these supernova remnants at one point. Did we see a light echo? Look at this, guys. This is all hydrogen gas that's been ionized, glowing red. Sadly, not much carbon-based life could exist within that radiation that's bathing this whole area. Let's try to make some adjustments here. Let's pull this off the black level just a little bit. But at least you guys are finding out why I'm called Just One More D'Antonio. Because I have to I can't stop. This is beautiful. Look at that, Daryl. Look at that. Oh my gosh, this is looking 3D as well. Drilling down inside this thing. Look at these beautiful sub-pillars here and there and there.
Uh-huh.
Wow, just stunning.
Now, I remember your older exposures, the eagle proper was barely visible.
Yeah.
Didn't really
That's
show
right.
up very well.
Well, it's showing up because there's a lot of dynamic range on this camera. So we could literally go from that position like this, which might not show it, okay, to basically pulling that down to where we can still see it like that, okay, or pulling this back up to make the happy medium, all right, like right out there, pulling this off of, pulling the black level back a little bit for the curve.
Oh my.
What?
All the spam bot, the porn bots, whatever.
Hey, we're getting popular. What can I say? That's the way it
Yeah.
works, right? All right, let's just do this.
It's not just sex, it's cheap sex.
Yeah. Well, if you got to pay for it, there's something wrong. Look at this. This is really pretty now. Look at that. This is by far the very best image of the eagle we've ever taken. This is absolutely amazing. This is called Measure 16. Okay, and it's the Eagle Nebula.
And it's in Serpens cauda, the tail of the snake.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Go away. Okay. All right.
I'm going to have to go pretty soon.
All right, Daryl. I don't know, Donald, if there's a way to... He asks, is there a way to purge the chat and start over, if that is a thing? I think if you were to leave the stream and come back, it would do that. I'm not sure. This is beautiful. I just can't stop saying that. I'm sorry, guys. If you want to know this is what we're looking at right here. This is Measure 16, the Eagle Nebula. Look at this. My God. This is just... It's knocking me out. What can I tell you? It's knocking me out. Absolutely knocking me out. In a good way.
Promise of things to come.
Look at this. We can see Baca globules apparently inside the nebula here. We never saw these before. My gosh. You see dark nebula up here that was lost to time. Hey, a properly collimated scope, man. Looks good. And it's guiding very well, too. That's another thing that's important. Look at that. I just don't know. I mean, we're at 11 stacked only. Just 11. You know? I'm going to move this out of the way and we'll put it back in a minute. Just want you to be able to see it. Yeah. So while we're waiting for this to percolate, I'll move this over here so we can still see it. Let's go over here. And look. Just beautiful. Let me see. I don't think we'll get to see the Lagoon Nebula tonight. But I do want to do, and again for the record, we should be able to look up in Cygnus to see the Dumbbell Nebula. And that's going to be right up here. And Cygnus is a whole nother... we get lost in Cygnus often. We do. Yeah, that's where we're going to go. Right, Vulpecula is the fox, and there you go.
Yep, the little fox.
Yep. And that's the upper part here of Cygnus the Swan right here. Alberio is this beautiful star right there. It's a blue and an orange star a B-type star and a K-type giant, I believe. And they're beautiful. And we'll get to the North American Nebula in time. Actually, I'd love to show you that tonight, but I don't have time for that. Just beautiful. Wow. Alright, well, we're going to go to the Dumbbell Nebula in a little bit. Okay? We will. Alright, let's go back. Wow. Okay, 15 stacked now of the Eagle. There's the primary pillar right there. There's the second pillar and the third pillar. This is the pillars of creation. Why do they say that? Because these are dark nebulae. And this cluster in this nebula is evaporating the less dense parts of these areas. And they look like pillars because the stuff at the front here is the densest part and is shielding what's directly behind it from the starlight. And so those can't be evaporated and blown away by the star's stellar winds. So that's why we get pillars a lot in these systems. Just something else. Here's something I've never seen. Look at this little curl right here. See that?
Yes.
Right there? Never seen that before. But there's the primary pillar, secondary pillar, tertiary pillar.
The bright curl you mentioned,
Right there.
there's dark at the bottom. I assume the dark is in front of the.
It appears.
Of the bright curl.
Yeah. It appears to be. Yep. Very cool. Cosmic Ray says, why are stars oblong? Well, they could be oblong because the guiding is not 100% perfect. Or they could be oblong because there's actually two stars next to each other that kind of blend into one. But this image is beautiful nonetheless. Look at that. Holy cow.
Could be wind too.
Yeah, at this angle, we could have wind, yeah, but...
Yeah. I saw on the forecast for your area, I looked up earlier tonight, and it was saying winds, I think, might hit 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. Donald Kunzer asked, is there a large black patch between the Eagle and the small section at 2 o'clock? The Eagle and... You talking about this here? Hey, David Schmidt. Welcome. Good to see you. Talking about this, Donald? This area here? I mean, the whole idea is that these are the wings of the Eagle here, and this is like the head, I guess. I don't know. The body. Looks more like a seagull, but we already have a nebula named that.
The eagle is the pillars of creation.
Well, I mean, I see a whole bird here, though, see?
Yeah, I'm just saying, traditionally, the eagle is that small figure in the center.
Yeah, yeah. Donald says higher. Okay, up higher. All right.
I think we've had this conversation before.
Mm-hmm. Cosmic, the way I know the guiding is as solid as it can be is when I actually have this computer up, you can actually see the guiding corrections being made. And also, where the hot pixels are that are not properly operating, if they're dragged out in the line, it shows there's a lot of correction going on. But in the case here where you see Um, you know, it's actually, I can't find a hot pixel in this one, so we might actually have many of the pixels operating properly here. But sometimes they'll actually leave a trail. Let's go look, see if we can find one. The edges of the field too, because it's a wide field system, the edges of the field may exhibit some slight star pulling, where they might look like the stars are being pulled toward the center. This is beautiful. Wow. All right, well, these are 22 stacked, and we're gonna stop it here.
Island, if you want to do astrophotos of deep sky objects, I think a refractor would not be your best choice. You want aperture for deep sky stuff. You're talking like a Schmidt cast or
yeah, like this
catadioptric telescope or a Newtonian.
Yep. Our telescope is only a 10-inch telescope, but we're using it coupled with a special system to reduce the F ratio from F8 to F2. And to, in addition, we're using a special camera that is known to be a very, very good camera with low noise. As you can see, if we zoom in here, you don't see a lot of noise after 22 stacked images. We go to this many, this stack, and look what we got here. The noise is that colored modeling in there, but there's not a whole lot of it. That's the privilege that this camera affords you. But look at this. It's just beautiful. I know that there's even better photos to be taken over time here. Look at that. Wow.
Yeah. When it culminates,
yeah, it's low actually.
Yeah, when it's crossing the meridian at local midnight, I mean, that's going to be prime time for you.
Yeah. And we'll make sure we have plenty of time to take it. All right, I'm going to do this again here. Save exactly as seen. And now we'll clear it and say goodnight to it for now. And we can now head to our other object up for bids and the price is right. And let's actually do this right here. The Dumbbell Nebula. See that? There we go. So this is our 1 second exposure. So now back in here we have the Dumbbell Nebula already selected. And it's right there. And we're going to take this and say go, go, go. And you watch us head to the dumbbell and watch the telescope move here. You're going to watch the telescope move rather a lot. It's heading up to the northeast right now. Yeah. It's probably going to use Albireo, that beautiful double star I was telling you about. At least it has in the past. It is, look. Let's go over here. So, here's Albireo. Alright, let's drop this down so you can see the colors quickly. That's the beautiful stars. That's got the orange and the blue. And that's just our waypoint star, so it's going to be centered up and then it's going to be gone in a short second here, but I want you to see it. There we go. Now the Dumbbell Nebula, here it comes. It's got this characteristic green of doubly ionized oxygen. This is a planetary nebula. This is the result of a star that has gone into a red giant stage and kind of pulsated, puffed off its outer layers over time. And it's also a nebula called a bipolar nebula, which I remember I told you earlier. So this is probably the equatorial region of the star here, and the north and south poles are probably here. Okay, that's my guess. And it's orbiting this way, as you can see in the sky, kind of thing. That the stars rotate rapidly, sometimes slow. But we're gonna do a 25-second shot because the dumbbell is actually quite bright, and we could easily overwhelm it with this particular setup we have. our system runs 25 times faster than a similar system. And by the way, our telescope is the only one in the world right now with this system on it, because it was a prototype. And that gave us a tremendous advantage.
That's intense.
Yeah, I gotta work that down here. Actually, it looks pretty.
Yeah. See the apple core.
Yeah. And we should see the star, the progenitor, inside. There it is, right there, that little dot. That's a white dwarf the size of the planet Earth. And it's several thousand light years away. So you say, wow, how could you see it? You could see it because it's really, really bright. Really, really, really bright. Okay, let's actually... Let me throw this out there for you so you can see what we're looking at here. Measure 27, the Dumbbell Nebula. And let's do a little bit of a stack like this. So you can see the outer area of this. Well, that's amazing. We've never been able to see this, Daryl.
Yeah.
This far out. This is tremendously different from what we've ever seen. Holy cow.
Well, yeah, I noted when you just had two exposures stacked, I think, sort of a double teardrop shape, or like the edges of an eye on the right and on the upper left, on the left and on the upper right.
Yeah.
Hard to describe. They're like green lines, sort of describing the outer part of the internet. There, they show up especially well on the left side.
Yeah,
they're
here?
like green lines. Yeah, right there and right there. That showed up with just two exposures, and then
wow, this
when
outer
you
stuff is showing up.
remarking on it, yeah, the outer stuff showed up after what were still just 5 exposures.
Yeah, we've never seen that before.
Yeah.
I did a 25-second exposure here, and I gotta bring down a lot of this brightness to be able to see the interior. That's amazing. Again, by far the best image we've ever taken of this particular nebula.
Yeah.
We have a summer of amazement coming up, guys.
Well, at about 10 o'clock from the white dwarf at the center, those clouds inside, and then at about 4 o'clock also, they look almost like they're opposed.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And
there's the white dwarf now, so you can see it clearly.
Yeah.
I had to pull the brightness down to show you.
If you look closely, if you draw a line across the center of the white dwarf from 10 o'clock to 4 o'clock, well, on the upper left there, the hottest, reddest part, and then those clouds all kind of move in a line, and across to the lower left part, that's still like one line where you see the cloud there to the lower right of the white dwarf, and then the hottest part of the red there. It's like jets or something from the white dwarf coming out, you know.
Yeah, I actually have to look up the morphology of how the dumbbell was formed so that I can more accurately explain how this all happened. See, I know how planetaries form, and I know their morphology, the different types. There's bipolar, non-bipolar, spherical shells. This is definitely one of those that is a bipolar nebula, but it also has multiple. We're looking at multiple timelines here. The stuff that went out here and did this stuff here on the outside, this outer thing here, that happened at a different time than this stuff happened. Because there was different processes going on, different pulsations, different types of activities going on in the star. I can't get over how beautiful this is.
Yeah. You see what I was saying, though? It's like...
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
it's like these
describing
are
a line
jets.
across, or like two jets on either side.
Yeah. I also wanted to say that since this star here is the remains of a previous star that was somewhat like the sun, maybe a little heavier, a little more massive, you notice it's distinctly blue in color. And that blue color is because the white dwarf is extremely hot, and the hottest temperatures in the universe are blue. And over time, this white dwarf will cool to a black dwarf. But in the interim, the extreme temperature comes with ultraviolet energy that is of extremely high proportion. And ultraviolet energy is what ionizes atoms. It's very high frequency light. And this green is oxygen that was in the atmosphere of the dwarf, of this not the white dwarf, but the star, when it was doing normal fusion. And those layers got puffed off, and it was oxygen atoms that got puffed off, okay, or oxygen nuclei. And then when they made, in the outer atmosphere, they were actually able to remain as atoms. They got ionized, and in oxygen's case, we had two electrons got bumped off the atom. That's double ionization. And when they rejoin the atom, they give off light as they lose energy, and that light is characteristically green. Hydrogen gives off this red. Okay, and this is a very complex, extremely complex.
David Schmidt's asking about that. I mean, is it fair to say the red came off first?
Yeah, I mean, if it's farther, it could have been. But the other thing is, it could have been stuff that overtook slower stuff. It could have been a more energetic dispersion of stuff that came off earlier, and then made its way through that cloud, and then it's on its way out. So, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that came off first. It could be that these outer things here, these could have been later than all these. But they were more energetic and higher velocity, so they, over time, got farther away. So...
I would wonder if they wouldn't have mixed.
Maybe they have.
Yeah. And you
Mm-hmm.
can see a little red inside, like clouds of it at about 12:30.
Yeah.
And then a lot more down there at about 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
More diffuse.
Yeah. Wow.
What kills me too, though, is the green lines on either side that are sort of delineating
these.
That one, and again, especially it shows up well there on the left side.
Yeah. Let's see if we can bring back the outer ones.
I would almost wonder if you look there at about 8 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
The outermost part, that lobe of fainter green gas, that looks almost like one big cloud kind of overlaying the nebula itself.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's coming out, to the lower
toward
left,
you.
but also toward me.
Yeah.
And maybe something similar happening on the upper right-hand side. Maybe it's moving away from us.
So there's that. There's that really high contrast.
Yep. You got a really faint layer there to the left too.
Yeah, right there. Right there.
Yes. That's fascinating.
It is. I'm really enjoying this image tonight. Again, never seen this good. Never. But you notice, to show you the white dwarf, we got to go all the way down to here, and to show you the fancy details, we got to come all the way in here. But what's good is this camera records all of it. You see, we have very good dynamic range with this camera. You can see all this faint stuff. Really an amazing view. Poor Joe. I'm gonna have to tell him all about it. You missed it, Joe. I'm going to send these images, by the way, up to the skytourlive.com, so you'll be able to see them up there as well as going to the database to see them active, as we took them. The benefit of going to the database is you can get the timings and see when they came in, when we did them, what time, etc. Okay, this is just stunning. Wow. This is 24 stacked. Okay, we'll pause it here. And we're going to save it. M27. Yes, M27. I'll put in Dumbbell Nebula as well so you can see that. M27. Dumbbell.
Wiki says that is the plane of its equator.
What is?
The line from upper left to lower right, I assume.
Right. Yeah, which makes sense because we talked about this being the equatorial region that's getting stuff slung off it, and this is the north and south, or south, north and south polar regions. That makes sense. Okay, let's see what this is. Good. All right.
Fascinating.
It is. All right, come here. We're done with you. And now I will just save this as a raw file. Okay, and then we're going to save it as exactly as seen. So there's the ping. And now I'm going to save it exactly as seen again, but with the white dwarf showing. A little more. There we go. We'll save it again exactly as seen. And it won't overwrite it. It's going to put a second one in there. Okay. Now let's make sure we can see a few more things here. Let's go back in.
Cosmic Ray is asking for M57.
I know. Everybody wants to see now the other planetary in Lyra. But it is 2:19 in the morning here, and I have to be up early. I got a lot of work going on here.
Yeah, I should have been in bed an hour ago.
Yeah. All right, well, let me do this one more time. Jesus, I don't want to give this up. This was a really good day, really good night. Oh, man, folks. Well, thank you for coming out and hanging with us on this. This is just stunning. We got some really, really pretty pictures. Crap. Ugh.
That's really something.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to save this again. It's just exactly as seen. Alright. Now, I'm going to get rid of this stack. I'm going to go back to my 1 second shot here. Alright. Oh, I should not do this. I should not do this. Maybe I can't do this. Yes. I should not be. I can't do this. I'm sure I can't do this.
What?
I'm sure I can't go and look at the... no, I can't go look at Herschel 36. I can't go look at the Lagoon Nebula. Oh. Yes, I can. I guess we can try this one more time, right? It's 30 degrees. You know what? It's not actually not enough. It's not enough. We need to be on that side of the house. We need to be up. Well, no, we should be able to see it. Crap. Okay.
You're not far from due south.
Yeah, that's true.
Should be almost as high as it'll get.
Yeah. I'm afraid you're right.
So just one more?
Yeah. Just one more. Oh. Look at that. Talk about a dark nebula. Look at this, where we're located right there. Let's see where that is. Okay, so we're right near Bod's window. It's pretty cool. Yeah, see, the telescope has a problem sometimes finding the lagoon, and I don't know why. But don't worry, we'll find it. We will find it. Hey, watch that yawning.
Sorry.
Alright. Are we up close to it now? I think we are. Yeah, it's right up there. So, yeah. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna have to move up to it now. Okay. We're gonna move up to it. Alright, so we're gonna go and go up to max speed here. And we're gonna head east a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely gonna show. It's definitely gonna be nice. There's the Milky Way. I should be able to find it from here. Look at these beautiful dark nebulae, guys. I mean, we're gonna spend a lot of time playing with these guys, I can tell you that. Now up north we go. Up through there, beautiful dark nebula here. It's just spectacular. And let's do this. Slow us down a little bit. And there we go. And we're gonna now, oh gosh, it's gonna be so beautiful. All right. Okay, you're gonna be pretty amazed at this, and you'll see why I'm gonna move it eastward a little bit, because there's something over here that goes with it that you're gonna want to see, all in the same shot. Darn it, I can't believe I'm doing this, but I can certainly believe I'm doing it. That's what I do. Okay. Let's go to 100% just to make sure our focus is intact. Looks good enough. It's not, it's temperature compensated. All right, so let's drop this. Let's go north and drop it down a little bit more, because there's so much up here too. It's just, there's just so much. Okay. All right, now we're gonna let it do its search, and we're gonna do just a 25-second shot. Okay, we're already guiding, and let's go and stack. And we're gonna clear this last one. Wow. Okay, here it comes. The Lagoon Nebula in all its glory. Wow. And that isn't even giving you the full picture. You want to see the full picture, we have to start doing this. Now that's a wow. What do you think of that, huh?
Looks a little overexposed in the center.
No, you want the faint stuff or what? right? And the nice thing is we have the dynamic range. So if I go to pull this down now, then that hot O star, which is causing that, will actually become more visible. See? We get what's called the hourglass in there.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful.
There you go, Izabela.
Hey, JSCO, isn't that something? There we go. Now this is only 4 frames stacked. And I'm going to tease you with only doing like 6. And then we'll come back in next time. But look at this. This is you're gonna see all this amazing stuff here. And then up here, the reason I did this is because there's a whole nother little nebula up here, which is really doing some really cool things. Check this little guy out. Look at that. Let's zoom in on that. Check that out. Look at these little hooked nebulas. You know? That's amazing. Outrageously beautiful. But that's our Lagoon Nebula, guys. I hope you enjoy it. Let's just drop this down a little bit and pull back the dark level to kind of give us... Oh, actually, I can bring this up now. Okay. There we go. Wow. Okay, we're going to stop at 8 frames for tonight. Holy cow, that's just beautiful. Well, before I do that, though, I got to say M8 Lagoon Nebula. And this is now going to be measure 8. The Lagoon Nebula. Let's throw that out there now. Put that out there so you can see that. Okay. Look at all this detail in here. Look at all that detail. Wow. Come, let's zoom into that real fast. Look at that, Daryl. Look at that. Look at that.
Yeah. All the little dark globules and the streamers and stuff.
There. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, we got the 10 stacked. How about that? And since I got the 10, I might as well do the 11th because it's only 9 seconds away. What are you doing over there? Flick, flick, flick. What is that?
Nothing.
So, there we go. We got that. And we'll say pause. And now I got Lagoon Nebula up there. And I'll say save. And then save exactly as seen. Wow. Well, there we go, guys. That is it for tonight. We finally got our glimpse of the summer. And we'll be back with a lot more. I'd say this was pretty successful, huh, Daryl?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Well, I've been waiting for it. You finally got it.
Oh, yeah. Toyota. Yeah. Yep. Before I actually quit, let's go to 200% and move ourselves over into the nebula. It's obviously too high, but, you know, you can see...
Yeah.
You can see how it looks there now. Drop this down. Look at all this detail in here. Holy cow. That's 200. Let's go to 100. Wow. Alright, this is our native size. This is the native size of the sensor. You can see how gorgeous it is. Three-dimensional, looking right down the hole there.
Reminds me of the rosette.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Still a nursery as well.
Yeah, I think you said something like that when we were looking at the rosette. You couldn't wait till we saw the lagoon.
That's right. Yeah, there's the bright O star, which powers the Lagoon Nebula. Wow. Okay, I don't want to say goodnight, but I have to. That's beautiful, and we'll since I saved it, we're good. So now I'm going to basically get rid of the live stack, and we will be back again the next clear night. Wow, wow, wow. Alrighty. Well, guys, thank you for coming out here again. This has been just the most amazing time. I'm glad you have joined us. I'm glad you are here to see it all. And we will be back again. Alright? So you guys have a good night. And we'll be back, well, maybe as early as tomorrow. So good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
And remember, by the way, go to skytourlive.com, all right, to check us out. Be back next time.